Against Pittsburgh on Sunday, the Broncos were in no mood to repeat.
Humphrey finding the hole, and he's in for the touchdown. The ball at the Pittsburgh 44. You saw the movement. Elway stepping up.
Johnson.
Elway throwing deep. Touchdown.
The flag is on the defense.
Elway will take it in. First down at the 12. And Humphrey to the outside. Humphrey looks to turn it in, and he does!
Rookie Bobby Humphrey rushed for 105 yards as the Broncos kicked the Steelers 34-7. Meeting between these two teams since the '87 Super Bowl, when the Redskins won. The Broncos' John Elway was taken sick just before the game. His replacement, Gary Kubiak, must have felt the same way after his first possession.
Operating from the shotgun, under pressure, down he goes at the 13. The ball is loose, and it is Washington's ball. This is Jamie Morris with a big hole. Touchdown Redskins, Jamie Morris.
After his rocky start, Kubiak, in only his second start in 5 years, made amends.
And Kubiak on a roll and under pressure, but throws, and is he in? Yes, he is. Melvin Bratton makes the catch. Kubiak throws to the back of the end zone, caught by McField for the touchdown.
Despite not scoring in the second half, the Broncos won the game 14-10.
We won't have any more respect after this game than we had coming in, but that's fine. You know, we're in good shape. We got a 4-game lead in our division with 5 to go, and I like the position we're in. I like the way this team plays, and I really don't care if anybody likes us or not.
I guess if you're a Reagan supporter, you'd have to think the Stars are against us.
Here in Denver last week, the Seattle Seahawks visited Mile High Stadium. Coming into the season, it was the Seahawks that were touted as favorites to win the AFC Western Division title. But last Sunday, it was the Broncos, led by the strong arm of their quarterback, John Elway, that became the first team in the league to clinch a division title. John, last week, the team broke loose on offense, and 5 touchdowns in the first half. You were able to throw 4 of them. You must have been happy with that.
Oh, yeah, sure I am. I think anytime you can throw 4.5, you're happy. And well, the first one we just got down, it was on the first drive. We went about 80 yards, and we were down in there close. And they brought a blitz after us, and I just had Vance Johnson on the backside on a little slant route, and I was able to hit him. And the ball was a little bit high, but he made a good catch. And second series, we came down, and it was actually the same exact play that we scored on the first one, except we got a little bit different coverage. And in the third one, we just sent everybody on streak routes, 4 guys down the field, and we caught them in 2 deep coverage, and I had plenty of time to throw it, and I was able to look one of the safeties off and hit Steve Sewell in the corner of the end zone for the 3rd touchdown pass.
And the Broncos went on to win 41-14. And although it was the offense that won this game, it's been the defense that's been the talk of the town this season. But it hasn't always been that way, as in the last 2 Super Bowls the Broncos have appeared in, they've given up an average of over 40 points. And Coach Reeves knew, coming into this season, if he wanted to win it all, his defense would have to improve.
The biggest difference has been our defense. Our defense has played 12 weeks now, and they've played great football for 12 weeks. We made some changes in our coaching staff, which I think have had a positive effect on us. Wade Phillips, our new defensive coordinator.
What would you say the main concept of your defense is?
Well, what we've tried to do is match what we do to our personnel, rather than trying to say, hey, we're going to run 46 defense or a 3-4 or 4-3. In the first quarter, when we sacked them and Ron Holmes knocked the ball out and we recovered on the 17-yard line or whatever, we played what we call a tiger front, but it's a 5-man rush front where we put Mecklenburg over the center, and then we let Ron Holmes go, and he came through and hit the quarterback and knocked the ball loose and made a big play for us.
The biggest improvement has been in the run defense, where we were last in the league last year at 4.7. Steve Atwater and Dennis Smith, 2 big, strong safeties, have really helped us in that area also, along with our front 7 people.
Now, what is the truth? What is your size and weight? They're trying to say you're 6'3", and
yeah, I was 6'4" for all the time I was in college, and as soon as I got here, they told me I was 6'3". I guess I lost the inch because of the altitude. I don't know.
Coming in, last year's defense wasn't very good. 8-8 season. You're a rookie this year. You're 10-2. What do you think the difference is between last year and this year, even though you weren't here?
Well, for one thing, the coaching staff, the defensive coaching staff, the new coaching staff, we have a great scheme here, and the guys are working extremely hard trying to get everything down, and we're working really well together.
What do you see your role is on the defense here?
Well, to go out every week and play as hard as I can play and not make many mental errors, and also provide leadership. I always go out and give 110%, and some of the other guys, they're giving 110%. It's a team effort.
So despite having clinched the AFC Western Division title with 4 games to play, don't expect the Broncos to ease up, as they know if they keep on winning, they'll be playing host here at Mile High Stadium on January 14th for the AFC Conference Championship game. Since Hank Kuhlman replaced the luckless Gene Stallings. So in came rookie quarterback Tim Rosenbach for Gary Hogaboom. And he soon found out just how hard the NFL can be.
Yard line.
Mecklenburg's got it.
And there goes Mecklenburg in for the score.
Fumbled from the snap. Now you'll see a Phoenix Cardinal on the replay grab a hold of his leg, but Mecklenburg is up and standing.
Denver, on a 2-game losing streak, needed to win this one to be sure of home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. And running back Bobby Humphrey looked as if he could do it on his own, as he became the first Denver rookie to rush for 1,000 yards. But Humphrey wasn't the only joker in the Denver pack, as his 14-yard Steve Sewell reception piled on the agony for the Cardinals. Having played just 1.5 quarters, Rosenbach was replaced by Gary Hogaboom. The crowd weren't pleased, but it didn't seem to make much difference to the Cardinals or the Broncos, who appeared not even to need a quarterback.
Delay, and he's going to throw off the option. Touchdown! Humphrey to Breton on the option pass. 17 yards. Here's Elway on the roll, and he completes. Clarence Kay for a touchdown.
That was too much for the Phoenix crowd, many of whom didn't wait to see Denver win it 37-0. But first, having lost their season opener to the Raiders in the heat of Los Angeles, the Broncos were at home on Monday night, hoping the cooler air would help them to a victory over the Kansas City Chiefs.
Jackson in motion, 3rd down and goal. And Elway on a quarterback draw, touchdown. Oh, boy. Came right out of the movie. Yeah, beautiful. For Page, touchdown. 1st and 15. Remember, the Chiefs do not have a timeout. Getting free was Page, and Page is across the 50. Goodbye. Page is out in front, and Page will go all the way for a touchdown.
Well, well, well. Can you believe this?
No.
Like I said earlier, they rarely get a pass play over 30 yards. A missed tackle. Don't go away. 1:44 remaining. Denver with 3 timeouts.
4th and 10. At the 17. Elway for Johnson, who's out in front, and he makes the catch. He beats Kevin Ross.
I don't believe it.
Catch is made. Jackson, 1st down at the 20-yard line. Mark Jackson. Well, they're going to entrust it to Treadwell, and Humphrey takes it down to the 5-yard line. He somehow found enough room to get it to the 5, and now you're looking at barely more than an extra point. 22-yard attempt. Keith Carse will snap it. Chiefs will try to block it. Broncos win it.
We walked back to the huddle, and John was coming, from the 4th down on the sideline. And I said, John, throw me the ball. He said, do you have him, Vance? I said, I got him. And he came to me. And that's communication right there. You can't get it any better than that. That was the last resort on that play, really. But, fortunately, John's going to come to the receiver that he thinks is going to get the catch, and I'm just glad he threw it to me.
In the rarefied air of the Rockies, the tradition of the Old West lives on, and it usually doesn't pay to wear a black hat in them there hills. With Art Shell and the Raiders discovered on Sunday.
Elway stepping up in the pocket. Being chased by Winston Moss. He's got the first down and a late shove. Oh, is that brutal. 2:51 left. No timeouts left starting from the 20. Well, that's a start. Mark Jackson with a catch. First down to the 30.
You can make a compelling argument that John Elway is the most dangerous two-minute quarterback in football.
Well, 19 times in his career, this guy has rallied the team in fourth quarter comebacks to win it. Can he do it again? Comes out again. Marshall with the catch. Just about a yard short of the first down. He was trying to get out of bounds. He could not. The clock continues to run. 9-yard gain on the play. Second down coming up. They'll have the 2-minute warning, of course, so we'll stop the clock. And he's going to sneak this one. Elway gets the first down, and that will take him to the 2-minute warning. Blitz coming. McDaniel, he got away from him. What presence of mind. He gets it to Marshall. Marshall makes a move. He's to the 20, the 15, the 10, a tackle to the 8-yard line.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
49 yards.
Don't you love it?
Jackson in motion. Play action by Elway. End zone. Almost intercepted by McDaniel. And now a flag. 2 of them. It'll be first and goal at the 1. Rivers, touchdown, Denver.
His 3 Super Bowl appearances. On second thoughts, maybe you should take Marty Schottenheimer in his pocket, as he's beaten him in 8 of their last 9 meetings. But last week, Schottenheimer must have been confident of victory. With a 19-6 lead, under 3 minutes to go, the fans already streaming out of Mile High Stadium, and Elway needing 2 touchdowns to win. Surely, even for Elway, this was too much.
Elway steps out, throws it to Sharp. And Sharp goes to the 28-yard line. And also, Kansas City is giving Elway a lot of room to run it.
Well, assuming the game ends with Kansas City on top, one good thing that certainly came out of this game for the Denver Broncos is that they have a great pass catcher in Shannon Sharp, a new guy that they can definitely go to in the clutch.
Second down and 1. Broncos can wait for the first down. And that will stop the clock as Mark Jackson goes out, 2:13 remaining, and the ball at the 20-yard line. Elway, you notice coming out, he was kind of holding his left hand against his side. He's all right. We watched him during the timeout. He goes to the end zone. Mark Jackson. He's back.
And all Marty Schottenheimer could do was look on as his offense failed to move the ball and were forced to punt.
Pretty good kick. Marshall bobbles it, picks it up, slips a tackle, jumps a man. He's got it, the 40, the 30, and the tripper gets him. Elway sets, rolls out, buys time, low pass, it is complete. Denver will take their last timeout.
That man is absolutely anathema to Marty Schottenheimer.
Look at the eyes. You know, we were here for the Houston game, the playoff game. 6 months later, I played golf with John Elway. When I asked him about the drive, he started talking, his eyes got bigger and bigger. He says, that's what you want. You want to be in this position, in this kind of a ball game. That's what it's all about. That's what competition is.
Well, now all those people that had to drift to the exits with 6 minutes left in the game are certainly regretting that decision.
Check the gates, they're drifting back in.
That's right.
The word got out to the parking lot.
A lot of stand-up orange there, you're right.
Second and 5. Elway in zone. Touchdown. Vance Johnson.
Let's start our roundup of Week 2 action with a look at the teams that have won both their games. John Elway led Denver to a win over San Diego. That maintains the Broncos to 100% record. As for the Chargers, they're still without a win under Bobby Ross.
Give it to him!
Last year, the Houston Oilers' season came to an end in the playoffs when John Elway led a miraculous final minute scoring drive for the Denver Broncos. The drama also came late in the game in last week's rematch. This time, with Houston trailing by 6 points, it was Warren Moon who was in a position to orchestrate a game-saving drive.
He is caught at the 9-yard line. Curtis Duncan got behind everybody. First down, goal to go, 9-yard line. Here's White. And he still manages to pick up a couple of yards. It'll be second down and goal to go. A play action fake over the middle. It is there. Touchdown. Haywood Jeffries, and Moon celebrates. That's the good news. The bad news, if you're an Oiler fan, is that there's 1 minute and 56 seconds left on the clock, and you're playing right into John Elway's hands. Denver from their own 20-yard line. A minute 56, trailing by 1. Does this become drive 3? Elway throws, has a man open. It's at the 45-yard line. Get out of bounds. Stops the clock. Mark Jackson. Elway in a heads-up move. Almost went past the line of scrimmage. Stop, pull back. Clock is stopped 1:47. 39 yards on the play.
Once again, same situation. Jerry Gray, it's in his zone coverage. He sees Elway start to run. Got to stay with the man, but you're looking in the backfield, and it costs you. He gets to Jackson upfield. What a big play. They're already close to field goal range. Watch Elway's feet. How close is he to the 20-yard line? Watch where he throws the football. So close.
And he didn't even square around. He threw that with his shoulders the wrong way. 41-yard line of Houston. Fires this one. Pass is complete. Good move by Johnson. Vance Johnson goes out at the 20-yard line.
He's come with the blitz, leaving people in single coverage, guys that aren't normally starters. You can see right there, Steve Jackson. Single coverage on Vance Johnson. John Elway's going to pick that apart every time.
2 plays, 60 yards. First down, Houston 20. Reggie Rivers will score.
Same thing. Unbelievable.
3 plays, 80 yards, 22 seconds.
The early lead. Officially a 29-yard field goal for David Treadwell. It's 3-0 Denver. 6 minutes to go. First half. Elway has a man wide open. Michael Young. Young, the former Ram, has a touchdown. Safety blitz. Open in the end zone is Brian Brennan. Cleveland touchdown.
Beautiful throw. Beautiful throw.
Elway throws on first down to Mobley. Touchdown.
Was split outside, and Dave Grayson went out to cover him. So you had a linebacker and a big tight end. Grayson not used to being outside and covering someone like that. Lost Mobley at the line of the scrimmage, and it was a beautiful throw by Elway. Excellent tactics. I'm sure they had this play by last Tuesday. They knew they were going to use it at that point on the field.
Treadwell adds the extra point. It's 17-7, an 80-yard drive in 6 plays, and the 6'5" Mobley gets the touchdown, his first of the year.
Elway's dropping back. We don't get a real good look at it, but you see Mobley has a full 2 steps on Grayson when the ball comes down.
Oh, it may be a high-scoring game after all. 8 minutes to go in the third. So John Elway comes to the sidelines. There's his backup, Gary Kubiak, with Dan Reeves. They don't want to squander this chance. 3rd and 7, of course, looking for a touchdown that might well put Cleveland away. The Browns trying to hold and force the field goal.
Kubiak is not only a backup and a very able backup, one of the best in football, but he's also a great help with Reeves on the sideline. He knows the game plan as well as Reeves or Elway, maybe even better because he has all that time to study it. He's going to be a great coach at some point if he'll deal with a financial change in his life.
3rd and 7. The handoff to Sewell. He's going to throw. To Elway. Incomplete. Felix Wright was there. A flag is down. That play worked against the Raiders in the opener of the season a couple of years back.
Something was spotted right away.
And holding against Cleveland. First down, Denver.
Well, would it have been holding on Elway? We'll find out.
All-star crew, head by Dick Kantak.
Defense, number 29, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Bud Carson out on the field would like an explanation of that. Perhaps we can see what Dixon did.
Well, Dixon was on the line right here. He's going to hold at the line of scrimmage, according to the officials. He's got a jersey. Just can't do that.
Pulling the shoulder pad right out of Vance Johnson's jersey.
Especially a jersey, they see it pulling right off.
Winder on the handoff, sweeping outside. Touchdown! Sammy Winder has given the Broncos 7 more. Langhorne right with Tillman. Slaughter and Brennan, the smaller tandem to the left. Underneath, incomplete to Brennan. Yes, touchdown. Wait, he caught it. He caught the ball with his body. It looked as if it rolled free on the ground in the end zone, but apparently, as he scrambled, the quick hands of Brennan, able to scrape the ball to his body, he embraces 6 more.
Well, that was a beautiful job, releasing up inside, then around Braxton, stops, then goes again. And what a great play.
Are those hands?
See him releasing to the outside.
Play stands is called. Touchdown.
I'm out of my slump.
Just well done. But again, it took Kozar moving, and Braxton being fooled because he looked back toward Kozar and lost his receiver.
Matt Barr adds the extra point, and with 2:12 remaining in the third period, the Cleveland Browns pull to 24-14. It's 2nd and goal. Manoah, touchdown Cleveland.
What a beautiful play. I believe that was Middleton, the tight end, as a flanker, came in motion and trapped one of the tackles, and Manoah was right in behind it.
1 second left in the third quarter, and Middleton, who was in and out of the Cleveland Brown lineup during the course of the year, a story that you heard last week from Merlin and Charlie in the win against Buffalo. Ron Middleton made the block.
Well, we'll get a chance to look at it, and it was a great job by Middleton, going right up inside, and the penetration across the line of scrimmage almost did the job for him.
Matt Barr. It's 24-21.
That was a good job of Manoah hitting up inside, and what a wild game we're going to have, because both teams can now throw the ball. You'll see Middleton coming in motion here and attempting to trap, but the penetration is up the field too far. But the key block is right here on the linebacker coming to make the stop. So you'll see him in motion, right up inside, going to the ground. But look at the block on the linebacker right there by Ted Banker, the left guard. A beautiful job.
On 2nd and 12. Down the middle, wide open is Winder. Sammy Winder, all the way, touchdown.
It was an all-out blitz again. They just kept going to it. And Winder breaking to the inside. Just had all the room he wanted to run with the ball. Kyle Kramer was trying to cover him. And Winder coming out of the backfield just made a quick move. There was no one there because if Cleveland were to lose this game, I'm sure that Bud Carson would say, why one too many blitzes? One too many.
David Treadwell adds the extra point. Kyle Kramer was the man trying to cover Winder.
Here's Elway with the ball. He's going to have a lot of heat with people blitzing up inside, but he's got Winder isolated one-on-one, and it's all over.
Minifield misses the tackle. Kramer can't get there, and it's a 10-point lead for Sammy Winder. 34-yard attempt. Kubiak to hold. That's why he's going to the Pro Bowl inside the 40, almost automatic. 34-21 Denver. Treadwell from 31 yards. Three times in 4 years, the Denver Broncos best of the AFC.
45-yard line. Invariably, they go to Humphrey on 1st and 10 plays. Ray Bentley filled and made the stop at linebacker.
On the change on the offensive line is 69, Darrell Hamilton in for Gerald Perry. We have no idea what the injury is to Gerald Perry, but you see the cutback by Bobby Humphrey that Dan Reeves loves. Great sight as a running back. That old line about running to daylight, this kid does it in grand fashion.
Now they bring Sewell into the backfield. Open set behind Elway. On a 2nd down and 3. Sewell. He appears to have yet another Denver first down. John Elway told us yesterday that the offensive line of this Denver team is the best he's seen since he's been with the Broncos, now in his 8th year. But as pointed out, Gerald Perry went out on the first play from scrimmage with what appeared to be an ankle injury. Limped off. Whether or not we'll see him back, we haven't heard yet.
He's trying to walk it off on the sideline, and he certainly realizes his importance in the game plan against Buffalo, stopping Bruce Smith.
First down and 10 for the Broncos. No score, first quarter. Draw play, Humphrey. And Bobby Humphrey breaks it inside the 30-yard line. He gains 12 yards and another Bronco first down. So the Broncos just dismantling the Bills' defense, a 12-yard gain.
And you mentioned earlier that the Broncos like to run a lot of things, including the draw from behind the defense. You'll see the way this sets up. There's nothing fancy about it. Good lead block by Sewell 30 on Shane Conlon. And with Bobby Humphrey, you can't tackle him with your arms. You got to hit him with his shoulder.
4 carries so far.
25 yards for Humphrey.
And the Broncos drive on after taking the opening kickoff starting from their 20. Sewell on a slant. And good news for the Broncos, Gerald Perry is back in the game at left tackle. So apparently he walked off whatever the injury was. Big number 60, Gerald Perry, 295 pounds.
Who Dan Reeves complimented a great deal last night when we talked with him. Said that he's gotten his life together off the field and is a changed personality and is a big contributor to this offensive line. But still, first play of the game, something goes wrong. He's still limping, too. He is limping big time on his right leg, so I don't know if he's healthy enough to handle Bruce Smith.
They got Bruce Smith right over him now. As you see, 2nd down, Broncos need 8. Play fake. Elway throws to the open man. Sewell out of the backfield, and he's down inside the 20, down close to the 16-yard line. Take a look now, Trumpet Gerald Perry. See how he's moving.
9-yard completion there. They're rolling away from Bruce Smith. Let's see if we can see any effect on this. And he lets Bruce Smith inside. You don't want to do that. But the completion is made, and he's not healthy. He's out there going on guts right now, hoping this thing works itself out. We don't know if it's an ankle or knee injury, but it's a big injury.
Elway going to a shorter pass route offense. He threw 40 times in the win over Seattle last Sunday at Mile High. A lot of short routes. Fake. Humphrey, delayed draw, and Bobby Humphrey is down to the 5-yard line. On a 1st and 10 play, Humphrey rips through the Bills for a 10-yard gain, and Nate Odom starts up. In his wisdom, he could soon be out of the game with an ejection, going after an offensive lineman, a 12-yard gain on the play.
Well, they caught Buffalo in a blitz.
Kay, the tight end, was mixing it up.
Shane Conlon, 58, comes right up the middle. They run the draw right by him. Watch 58. Again, a good block by Steve Sewell, and Humphrey just goes around that block. This has been relatively easy for the Bronco offense against this defense.
Broncos slicing the Bills defense apart on this opening drive. First down and goal, Denver. Humphrey down to the 1-yard line. Very tied together in cohesion offensive blocking by the Broncos. Cornelius Bennett, 97, made the stop.
Interesting thing that Denver does is their offensive linemen stand up, and they give the running backs the option to find the hole themselves. And they just basically take the defense where it wants to go on an awful lot of occasions. They take very tight splits, and they try to hide that running back behind these huge offensive linemen, and it works.
Power set. Bobby Humphrey, close, and he's in.
How about that for a start? 80-yard drive. Whoa.
So the Broncos go through the Bills looking like Super Bowl winners. Absolutely standout play by Denver.
Look at this push. Mel Bratton with a good block. Bruce Smith was knocked all the way back in the end zone. Once that ball crosses the plane of the goal line, it is a score.
And in that opening drive, Trump, we have a long way to go, but the Bills gave no indication they could stop anything Denver does. We knew they wanted the matchup of Sewell against the free safety Leonard Smith. They got big plays out of that. But they got it with their base offense. The Bobby Humphrey runs, and now the extra point by Pro Bowler David Treadwell is up and good. With 8:10 to play in the first quarter, the Bills have not yet had the ball, and the Broncos move out to a 7-0 lead.
Buffalo and Denver exchanged possessions without a score. Just before the end of the first quarter, Buffalo's Jamie Mueller fumbles and Denver's Elliott Smith recovers. The drive ends on a 50-yard field goal attempt. But Dave Treadwell's kick is blocked by Darryl Talley, setting up the Bills' first down, 10 yards to go on the Denver 38-yard line. This is Buffalo's first real penetration in Bronco territory.
Here's a throw and a catch. With the ball is Andre Reed, an all-pro player last season, and he's inside of the 19-yard line. A gain of 18 yards on the play as Kelly, with a great fake, looks off the Denver defenders and then throws a strike to number 83.
Well, is this guy an all-pro? He's averaged 60-plus catches and 6 touchdowns a year for his career. And that really was a non-pattern. Just zone coverage. He goes up the seam, and Kelly finds him.
He's been terrific against Denver at 13 catches for almost 160 yards against the Broncos a year ago, did Andre Reed. For the Bills now, their first scoring threat. To the run they go, and Thurman Thomas is stopped as the Broncos, with a good defensive game plan, fill the gap. Big Warren Powers knocks down Thurman Thomas.
Along with Michael Brooks. 56.
Michael Brooks, 56 from LSU. Bill Arnsparger, the longtime Miami Dolphin defensive coordinator, later the head coach at LSU, said Michael Brooks was the best linebacking prospect he's ever seen. Then he had a serious knee injury in college. Now he's come back and is looking better than ever.
Last year he played outside and was a little lost. Inside he can just hammer people. And he's done that a lot so far.
Credited with 20 tackles against the Seahawks a week ago. Kelly on second down, lost it into the end zone. Reed had a step on the defender, but Kelly just had to release the ball as the Broncos had a big rush on him. Warren Powers was coming hard.
Actually, that's a positive play. The Bills do not throw the interception. The blitz gets through there. You see Mecklenburg 77, Powers 91, but it just falls harmlessly into the end zone. Kelly now 5 of 10 for 67 yards. And you give that one to the defense and go back to your game plan.
Tough call now for Kelly and the Bills as the Broncos show blitz. And it's coming as Kelly drops back on 3rd and 10 and cannot make the connection. And so the Bills drive stalls and they'll send their kicker out. James Lofton, the intended receiver, but the Broncos had blitz pressure at Jim Kelly at the snap of the ball.
It sure looks like Denver is trying to double cover Thurman Thomas and Andre Reed and leave James Lofton in single coverage, and that's the guy that Kelly is looking for most consistently.
Scott Norwood has hit 7 of 10 field goal attempts this season. One of the NFL's most consistent place kickers. 37-yard attempt. He spins it up. Goes to the crossbar, and it's no good. So the Bills come away with nothing. And the Broncos continue to lead the game 7-0 with 9:59 to play in the first half.
Buffalo held Elway and the Broncos on Denver's next possession. We joined with the Bills, second down, 10 yards to go on their own 20-yard line.
Wing pass. Thurman Thomas gets a block. Loses the ball. Buffalo has it at the 21-yard line. Jim Richard, the left guard, fell on the ball. 51.
I don't know how to account for Buffalo after a stellar performance against the New York Jets last week. And also, speaking of revenge against the Denver Broncos, all week here in Buffalo, to come out and play less than stellar. I mean, home crowd, home field. This is a place where they've been spectacular over the last couple of 3 years. And to this point, Don, there's no other way to look at it. They are flat.
They've lost 2 games here, have the Bills, since the start of the '88 season. Over 2 seasons, just 2 losses at home. Third down throw by Jim Kelly, intercepted by Atwater. Steve Atwater picks it off. He looked like a wide receiver, and he's down to the 30-yard line. James Lofton, the intended receiver. So the Broncos strike on defense, get a second Bill turnover. .309 to play in the first half.
Here's Atwater, and this is the value of Atwater. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defensive backs. And Atwater, watch him find this ball. He's reading Jim Kelly's eyes. They're just playing zone. What a play. And what a player.
And what field position for the Broncos, who have the ball at the Buffalo 30, first down and 10. 7-0 Denver. Ball was caught. They're going to rule he caught it at the 5-yard line. I thought a penalty marker was thrown, but it wasn't. Humphrey did a tremendous job picking up the blitz for Denver. A blitzer came at Elway, and Humphrey decked him.
Kirby Jackson was the man in coverage, and this is the most incidental contact I've seen. There's Darryl Talley just flooring John Elway. But at the end of this play, Kirby Jackson and Vance Johnson get tangled up. Johnson stays with it and makes another. Boy, all the big plays on Denver's side so far.
Now they go first and goal from just outside the 5-yard line. Humphrey down close to the 2-yard line. Terrific play from the offensive front of the Broncos. Keith Karts at center, Jariga and Waddell at the guards, Perry and Lanier the tackles. Second and goal, Denver. Touchdown, Broncos. On a slant counter play, Steve Sewell goes in. And the Broncos extend their lead over the favored Bills to 13-0.
You could see what John Elway was doing there. It's an audible at the line of scrimmage and a nice trap. That's Jariga 66 with a big kick-out block. And Sewell has no one in front of him. It's an easy score. Nice block also by one Bobby Humphrey, who has played a nice all-around game. Sewell scores and Humphrey blocks.
A bit of an understatement. A nice all-around game. Humphrey has been absolutely extraordinary. He's over 100 yards rushing, and now he's blocking like a tiger. And the extra point is good, and so the Broncos extend their lead to 14-0.
On Buffalo's next possession, they get on the scoreboard with this 36-yard Scott Norwood field goal. At the end of the first half, Denver leads 14-3.
He recovers the ball.
Again, he goes around Gerald Perry like Gerald Perry is not even there. That's why you teach quarterbacks to hold that ball in two hands, Don. Elway had it in one. It's knocked loose.
The Bills now with their deepest penetration of this game, starting this drive at just outside the Denver 10. Nice play fake by Kelly. Lots of time, but nobody open. Here's the rush. There's the throw. And he had nobody to go to again. Terrific defensive coverage by the Broncos.
Good play-action fake. Held everybody at the line of scrimmage defensively, but coming into this game, I think the Broncos were worried about Elliott Smith and Wyman Henderson, but watch the coverage. They're just, watch Andre Reed at the top of the screen. The defensive back falls, but Kelly never sees him. He finally just throws it away.
Now bright sunshine hitting the field as the Bills look on second down and goal from the 10-yard line. Kelly faking. He's looking. He's in trouble, and he's knocked down for a loss at the 12-yard line. A tremendous moral victory for the Broncos if they can limit Buffalo to a field goal or less on this drive. Reagan and Fletcher were on the staff.
Again, great pressure, but this is a coverage sack. You can see the cornerback, Wyman Henderson, 24, had bump and run on James Lofton. Man, I'm telling you, this is as good a defensive effort as I've seen Denver make.
Very big down now. The Bills have it. Third down and goal from the 12-yard line.
A draw would work here. A draw would work here. There it is.
Down they go to the goal line. It's a touchdown. Trump, you had it all the way. A draw would work, and a draw it was with Don Smith on the payoff end.
That's the first time they've taken advantage of that defense with the extra defensive backs in the ball game. It was obviously an audible. Watch what happens. You see the two safeties switch. They run the trap up the middle, and you've got a 280-pound offensive tackle blocking Atwater. The draw trap works for the score.
So Don Smith comes in and does the job, and now a bad snap. This is big. And it's a 14-9 game.
Goodness.
Following a Buffalo fumble by Thurman Thomas, the Broncos are first down, 10 yards to go, on the Buffalo 20-yard line. 5 minutes remain in the third quarter.
Big rush, open man. Running in the open field is Sammy Winder. Head down, Winder takes it to the 6-yard line, and we might have a late hit call.
They also kicked the flag, which might be an additional penalty.
Shane Conlon and Clarence Kay, 88K, 58 Conlon. There's bad blood there. Last year when they played on a Monday night, Kay with a low block hit Conlon in the knee from the blind side, and Conlon was up. Conlon said he was going to get Kay today. And Kay said, well, I'll be wearing number 88. He knows where to find me.
Sammy Winder lowers his shoulder here. Leonard Smith hits him. Shane Conlon.
There was a hit on the carrier, though. Winder. Kay came in from off play to mix it up with Conlon. Conlon missed a month with the knee injury, suffered that game a year ago. And now he puts the Broncos in the driver's seat even more. Inside the 5, first down and goal. Winder and Humphrey, the runners. That's Sammy Winder, and he's in for a Bronco touchdown.
That's the same play that Steve Sewell scored on. Oh, I'm telling you, this offensive line of the Denver Broncos,
terrific.
They go back to Denver at first class. Put them up front. You're going to see this.
George Henshaw is the man who coaches that offensive line.
Once again, you see the block here. You see the trap pull, and you see Winder come right up in behind it. I mean, this is relatively simple, and it's the same one that Sewell scored on in the first half.
Extra point hit up and good by Treadwell, and the Broncos now lead the game 21-9.
That Denver touchdown ended the third quarter scoring. We join at the top of the fourth quarter. The Broncos are first down, 20 yards to go on the Buffalo 48-yard line.
Humphrey breaks it inside the 40-yard line and down to the 37. First down and 20 play. Humphrey, like all the great ones, the more he gets it, the more he likes it. Getting stronger as the game goes on. He busts loose for a 12-yard gain, and even with 13:50 left, you get the feeling, Trump, this thing is ebbing away from the Bills. They just can't get anything going when they do get the ball.
Look at that double-team block. Jariga and Cart 66 and 72 on the nose tackle. Jeff Wright was 6 yards down the field. He's basically the only guy they've given it to, and they still can't stop him.
A year ago, the Broncos came in here on a Monday night and dominated the Bills. They come in today and dominate again. Here's the ball slapped back at John Elway by Cornelius Bennett.
That's about all the Buffalo Bills have left to do. Blitz their brains out for the rest of this game. Try to get the turnover. You see Smith coming 78, Talley coming 56, Bennett coming 97. Try to get the turnover. The only chance to get back in this ball game.
With 13:24 to play. The Broncos with a third down and 9 play coming up. Elway gets some time, loops to an open man. Running free is Vance Johnson. He has the first down all the way down to the 16-yard line. So the Vance running free and a lead pass to Elway under pressure for a 20-yard gain.
Once again, here's this defense that has not worked, and here's the primary receiver. This is the man who is single in coverage, and Johnson goes over here and gets picked off. Elway has the time enough to look and wait for Johnson to clear through all of the mess out there. You see Kirby Jackson, 47, not even close, a 20-yard gain, and boy, has this game plan worked. They have beat that defense, the nickel package of Buffalo, to death.
Humphrey darting in, darting out, turning the corner and getting down to the 14-yard line on a first down carry. Let's see what the Broncos go to now in this diverse game plan of theirs, attacking from every dimension. Second down and 8. Draw. Humphrey down to the 8-yard line. Gain of 6 or 7 yards on the play. And the Bills defense doesn't seem to have its usual pop now as Denver's taken it away, and they've also taken the crowd out of the game. Bills unable to stop. Draw plays. Sprint draw. Flag draw. Humphrey up the middle. Elway sets in a shotgun and calls a quarterback draw. And he's down to the 7-yard line. Looks like he's just short of a first down. It'll bring a fourth down. They'll kick a field goal.
Certainly a design play. Wanted the left side of the formation with wide receivers, and he runs the quarterback rollout to the right. Didn't work. Darryl Talley with the tackle. One of the few plays today that's not worked.
This game going by very quickly. A year ago, it'd be 3:45 when you had 10 minutes left in the game. 20 after 3 here, Eastern time. Treadwell has it blocked. Cornelius Bennett, he can run. Cornelius Bennett in a live ball is going to go the distance for the Bills. So the defense will score a touchdown as Cornelius Bennett takes it all the way. No flag.
It looked like Nate Odoms was the guy who blocked it.
Norwood to try the point after. He'd bring Buffalo to within 4 if he hits it, or within 5, and he does. Now it looks like there's a penalty marker down also. Roughing the kicker it might have been, so they'll kick off after penalty yardage. Extra point is good.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. 28 defense. That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
Cornelius, 80 yards for a touchdown, and this crowd has erupted now on the big defensive play.
Once again, you'll see the block. It's Odoms from the outside. Again, it's on Rick Dennison, 55. He was cut 3 weeks ago, brought back this week. Ends up being Cornelius Bennett's first touchdown in the NFL.
Now the live action, the kickoff downfield, taken at the 5-yard line. Winder breaks it. And Sammy Winder's out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. And again, very nearly a late hit. I was talking yesterday, Trump, at practice with Bruce DeHaven, the Bills special teams coach, and they stress blocking kicks by extending at the ball, not raising your arms. That gives people a window to get it in the air.
Well, you got a young man, Rick Dennison, who for years was a major contributor to this Bronco defense. Waived 3 weeks ago, brought back in the middle of this week. And that's the second block that has happened in that spot. Remember, Darryl Talley got inside and blocked the field goal before. Odoms this time gets it outside.
The Broncos had this crowd out of the game, but now they're right back in it. Humphrey, hit, knocked down. Jeff Wright, the nose tackle, who's been knocked around a little bit today, makes a head-on stick. A gain of no gain. 2nd down and 10.
That may be one of the few tackles he's made all day. This time he jumps behind Keith Karts.
It was a full hit.
Yes, it was.
This place is now as cauldron of sound. 80,000, making it tough on Elway and the Bronco offense. Denver leads 21 to 16. Timing throw. Elway, tip ball, intercepted. The ball picked off by Leonard Smith. He's going to go in, and Buffalo takes the lead. Extra point attempt by Norwood is no good. He missed the extra point. And Buffalo now holds to a 1-point lead, 22 to 21. Even if they made it, a field goal could conceivably win it for the Broncos, but we've got a long way to go. The defense is now scoring. Big things are happening fast here in Buffalo as the Bills have scored twice on defensive touchdowns and taken the lead. Now they kick off again. Vance Johnson dancing. He's in trouble. Here's a penalty marker down. Bills have really ignited this whole place. The team and the 80,000. Legal use of hands on the kick return by Denver, so Coach Reeves' team will be way back in their own end to start a drive. They're down by a single point with a lot of time left.
Illegal block on the back. Number 6.
Here's the tip pass by Leon Seals. 96 is the man who gets his hand up. Leonard Smith there to make the interception. And now, the turnovers today, 12 points produced for Buffalo. Defensively, 2 missed extra points.
Big block on the return by Shane Conlon. And Leonard Smith goes in. And right after Cornelius Bennett went in on an 80-yard return of a blocked field goal. Elway unable to call signals, looking to the referee for relief.
Yeah, now wait a minute. Now Buffalo's here is encouraging the fans to do that, and that's not smart because they'll stop the 45-second clock and Denver can stand there forever. The defense can't encourage the crowd. Now Shane Conlon is telling them to quiet down. That's going to help a bunch, isn't it?
Yeah,
right.
They get the message.
Yes.
Has been requested to assist in quieting the crowd. We appreciate your cooperation.
Whether or not he'll get their cooperation remains to be seen. John Elway was talking about the difficulty of all the audibles they like to call in a stadium as loud as this, and there's none louder than Mile High. If the Bills were out there, the crowd in Mile High would take an offense out of the game on the other side.
But they worked out in the bubble this week in Denver just in case this happens, so they'll go on a silent count. Should not be a factor.
Probably to Humphrey. He's the lone setback in the ace backfield, the ace alignment.
Buffalo.
Elway got it. Buffalo has it.
Bennett.
The noise, and it might have been a count off on the snap. I think he might have gotten the snap before Elway was ready for it.
Well, it looked to me like the center, Keith Karts, he had a big block to make on Jeff Wright, and it looked like he moved too quickly.
Virtually no game clock time has elapsed, and Buffalo's in position to score its 3rd touchdown.
Yeah, best thing that's happened to Buffalo is the offense hasn't taken the field.
That's right. End off. Touchdown, Kenneth Davis. Absolutely unbelievable what's going on here.
That's 2 touchdowns in about 12 seconds.
Norwood ready to kick yet another extra point try. He's missed 2 today. He gets this one.
Amazing.
And he extends Buffalo's lead to 8 points. A very, very important extra point. Denver has to score a touchdown and a field goal to win now.
That's 19 points now produced by Buffalo because of the turnovers. 19 of the 29 scored.
On Denver's next possession, Elway was unable to perform his usual magic. He was sacked on the drive by Bruce Smith, and the Buffalo fans began to chant, "Bruce." With 3:37 on the game clock, the Broncos are first down, 10 yards to go on their own 30-yard line.
Tip ball
again.
Leonard, it was Seals who got it. Leon Seals.
That's absolutely amazing. I mean, Leon is tall and got a big wingspan, but you also got to be pretty darn lucky to get your hand in the right spot. Oh, it's unbelievable.
Second down. Shuffle pass. Free ball.
No. Incomplete pass.
Oh, it'll be incomplete. It's ruled forward pass. They almost picked it up in the air. That thing was hanging.
Then it's a completed pass or an interception. Ball was intended for Winder. And you see Bruce Smith get right in there. Almost strips it away. But the same rules apply for the receiver. Both feet must be down and clear and complete control of the football. Winder wasn't even looking when Elway threw it.
3:29 to play, and with 3rd and 10, Elway sets in the shotgun. Hard throw, but he brought it in on the one hop. Well, he has to go for it now.
Absolutely. He completed a 4th down pass in the win against Kansas City, 4th and 10. Going right back to the huddle. You see the intended receiver, the primary receiver is Vance Johnson. James Williams right there in coverage.
Against all odds, John Elway stands in. 80,000 making noise. 3rd down, 4th down and 10. Downfield, he's got a man, and Elway hits Ricky Nattiel at midfield. 1st down, Broncos. A 20-yard gain, a sensational play by the Broncos.
Kelso and Leonard Smith were there to make the tackle. I noticed they're helping Gerald Perry now. No, actually, they have Hamilton in at offensive left tackle. Perry is out.
Hard throw. Is it a catch? Look at that. That was good for a 1st down. Nattiel again. He's had some problems with a knee, Ricky Nattiel, a tremendous receiver from Florida. 11-yard gain on a 1st down. So the Broncos marching through the Bills. Denver trails 29-21. Another fastball by Elway. Down to the 25-yard line. This one's to Mark Jackson, number 80. 14-yard gain.
They got to get as many plays off before the 2-minute warning as they possibly can here. That's a flag on the offensive left tackle. That stops the clock momentarily. Hamilton rocked out of his stance. 69 White.
False start. 69 offense.
But actually, that doesn't hurt Denver. It'll stop the clock, but it'll start as soon as they put the ball down, so they have to be right at the line of scrimmage and ready to go. 2 minutes and 14 seconds. They can get one more play here before the clock stops, and it started. It hasn't started yet. Within the last 5 minutes of the second half, it won't start till the snap.
Elway goes to a draw. Winder running and very well, and Sammy Winder's finally taken down at the 24-yard line. That'll take it down to the 2-minute warning. Denver out of timeouts. Buffalo has 3, and the last thing the Bills want to do at this point is stop the clock. 2 minutes to play. Bills lead 29-21 after trailing 21-9. Elway moving the Broncos at a time they absolutely have to move the ball. Down by 8 after leading 21-9.
Oh, good play.
Pass. On the run is Winder. He's inside the 10 and taken out of bounds at the 5-yard, the 8-yard line. And they use only 9 seconds. Leon Seals brought him down.
Ran that play down from behind. You see the blitz, 56 tally. They take advantage of it. Sammy Winder gets a little hit on him. 47 also was in there on the blitz. Kirby Jackson.
Keith Hart's out in front blocking.
Yeah, Leon Seals all over the field today.
So the Broncos out of timeouts. Stop the clock. And now they have it 1st down and goal at the Bills' 7-yard line.
Look at this, 11 guys at the line of scrimmage for the Bills defense.
Draw, nothing. Darryl Talley, number 56, all the way and stopped Sammy Winder for a 3-yard line.
I think that's what Buffalo wanted to do, is put as many guys at the line of scrimmage, make Denver think they can run it. Good defensive call by Walt Ford.
There's a throw. Oh, touchdown Broncos. Elway guns the ball into the end zone to Ricky Nattiel, and Denver is now down 29-27 with the extra point attempt coming up and 1:25 to play.
That was James Williams, the rookie first-round draft choice in coverage, and frankly, his coverage was pretty darn good. Somehow, Elway got the ball in there. It'll be to the screen left. He's going to Nattiel all the way. Watch this catch. Not bad, huh?
Nattiel's made some big plays for the Broncos. Treadwell knocks the extra point through and may very well be going for the onside kick. 1:25 to play, and the Broncos are back to within 1.
Let's see if Buffalo changes anything they're going to do here.
Here it comes. They've worked hard on this. Uh-oh. Ball. Buffalo has it. Metzelaars, who once scored 45 points in a college basketball game, goes high up into the air and comes down with a rebound.
As the clock runs out, the Bills hold onto the ball and win in a comeback victory. Final score, 29-28.
The block of Tony Jones. Now Givens, of course, right here is just trying. Look at this. You're at least 2 yards out of bounds. Right here, you can just let him go. And turning him on his head when he's that far out of bounds, I'm surprised that Dimry doesn't get tossed from the game for that. I don't know what the crowd's booing about. What are you talking about? Look how far out of bounds he is. He's at least 3 yards. There's no reason that he has to do that.
Givens' 5th reception.
He's already out of bounds. All he had to do was push him out. Instead, he does the pile driver. It reminded me a couple of years ago when Joe Turkey Jones did the same thing to Terry Bradshaw in a game.
Remember yesterday, Givens said it's just a kid's game, but grown men are playing it. He's up.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. I'm happy to see that. And you know what? I'm hoping that the boos that we hear from the crowd are boos of Charles Dimry, not because they're booing the play, because there's just no reason for that.
I suspect they are.
And the thing is a player like this, a tough little competitor, somebody who has done exactly what he said, elevating his game for the playoffs, to be turned on his head like that, there's no excuse for it.
And with the penalty, the ball goes to the 25-yard line of Denver, where Houston will have a first down. 53 seconds, time remaining in the third. Again, Houston leads by 5, 21-16.
If that man can get back in the game, he will. I know I'm sounding like I'm a big Ernest Givens fan, but
well, you are.
But having my career occupied in the middle of the field, I know how tough it was to do that at 230 pounds, let alone do it at 172.
A little shuttle pass as he was going down to White. They improvised. They may pick up the first down.
This is unbelievable. Warren Moon is making so many plays today. You know, at the beginning we talked about the fact that we said already this man in Houston has taken on almost deity-like status, giving $200,000 to a church, setting records for completions and numbers and everything else. Makes the play here. Kroll is right there, has him just before he goes down. The left-handed flip to White, and White gets up with the first down. Warren Moon is, as they say, forgive this cliche, but this is so exciting. He is letting it all hang out.
Yes. And he told us yesterday that this is the best team that the Oilers have had since he's been there.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think really this year...
I think really because of this man is the reason it's the best
Well,
team.
Certainly he's one of the reasons, but the defense has had an outstanding season as well.
He's such a class man. I really do like him. A first down at the Denver 15-yard line.
This is one of the few people, you know, it sounds corny to say this, but if you have a son and he grows up to be Warren Moon, you have no complaints.
Well stated. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
The big play of this drive is Warren Moon seeing the blitz. From the left side right here, you're going to see Dennis Smith is coming in. Now from the right side of the screen comes Steve Atwater. Watch the center, Bruce Matthews. The center, Bruce Matthews, and Doug Dawson go to a zone situation, collide together. Two men take on three. Ernest Givens runs the out route as he's looking into the backfield, exactly what he's supposed to do on that blitz read. And now they're downfield, poised to score again.
Houston first down, 15-yard line. White. No, that's Jeffries that has it. Inside of the 10. And it is Dimry again, regardless of which side of the field Warren Moon looks for him.
Well, you know what's interesting is that now Givens is coming back in the game.
Back.
Oh,
yes,
good.
The
Good to see
report
that.
is a strained neck. Hopefully he will return. Well, that hope has been fulfilled for the Oilers.
Getting a little rub down. That's kind of a stinger right there between. I'm going to sound like a physiologist here, but right between the trapezius and the ears, where you get those stingers in the neck. Trust me, I've had a few.
I know where the ear is. I'm not sure the trapezius. Second down. Here is White. Maybe a yard for Lorenzo. Ron Holmes makes the tackle. Through 3/4 of play, there is a 100-yard discrepancy in total offense. Houston 351 yards, Denver 251 yards. The ball at the 7-yard line.
Interestingly enough, last time when they're in this situation, you can see Kevin Gilbride looking over his plays, what it is he wants to do. They did not go for the first time last time. They threw the touchdown on the swirl route to Curtis Duncan on the right side of the field. I would anticipate seeing some crossing routes from the inside receivers, Hill and Givens.
Now Dimry is the right corner, so he is to the left of the offense for Houston. Moon looking right, comes back left, throws over the middle, it's dropped. Jeffries couldn't hold on to it, and the field goal team will come out.
That's the second costly drop for Haywood Jeffries. You know, we've really been lauding him over the fact that early in the game he had the big catch and he had 100 catches, but this is very catchable. The offensive line, great protection. Moon seeing the entire field. He hits him right, no one touches anything. Dimry's completely behind him. Very catchable ball. That should have been a touchdown for the Oilers.
Al Del Greco from the 15, an attempt of 25. He missed officially from the 33 on the earlier one. Montgomery with the hold. It's perfect. So Houston adds 3 more. Their total is now 24-16.
So an 8-point lead for the Houston Oilers. Let's go back to Todd Christensen and Charlie Jones, our American match commentators.
The scenic wonders of Colorado. I'm not sure it gets much better than this as we come back to Mile High Stadium. Del Greco kicking off. Alton Montgomery will down it in the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20.
I still think that this is a very catchable ball by Haywood Jeffries, but in fairness to him, watch the right hand of Charles Dimry right at the last minute is going to come in and pin his elbow back. Right there you can see the hand is in there. Still, I know that he probably says to himself that he feels that he could have had that one back. Interesting point, those two that are sitting right there, Drew Hill and Haywood Jeffries, combined for 190 catches this season. That is a record for 2 receivers in one National Football League season.
Yes, but let us also point out that Charles Dimry did make the play because they've been picking on him, and perhaps we have too. Denver first down to their own 20-yard line. Elway with a middle screen to Sewell. And Sewell to the 29-yard line. It'll be second down and 1. Bubba McDowell with the tackle. NFC Divisional Playoff earlier today. Washington defeated Atlanta by a score of 24-7. And tomorrow on NBC, of course, Kansas City at Buffalo, starting at 12 noon Eastern Time as the divisional playoffs continue.
I remember last year at this time, everybody said, oh, the only team that can beat Buffalo up there is Kansas City. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Here is Steve Sewell. Sewell finding an opening to the 41-yard line, and he is pumped. A gain of 12, first down.
This is probably
Orlando makes the tackle.
I was going to say Steve Sewell is having arguably one of the best games of his career, particularly running. He gets some good downfield blocks, but he also shows some sweet feet. And I might mention for those aficionados who keep track of such things, his number 30 is the same as his head coach, Dan Reeves, wore for the Dallas Cowboys so long ago.
Jeff is the injured player. And we'll step aside for just a moment. Houston leads it 24-16. Defensive tackle Ray Childress out with a bad back, replaced by Jeff He just comes out limping on a bad knee. He's replaced by number 94, Glenn Montgomery.
Jim Eddy told us he would only be used in an emergency situation. Well, time to dial 911. There he is.
Denver first down their own 41-yard line. Gaston Green. Couple of yards to the 43. It'll be second down and 8. 11 minutes and 42 seconds left to go. 24-16 Houston leads. There's Jim Eddy. I think when it was Tuesday, he is more fun to talk with because he gets. I asked him, I said, I know you're ready up for this game. I haven't slept for a week. I'm so ready.
Very animated.
Yeah.
If the thing doesn't work out with the defensive coordinator, he can always flag planes in for one of the airlines.
Second down. Elway, now pressure from the backside. His hit as he throws, it is incomplete. William Fuller got him.
Well, William Fuller, known as the Fuller Rush Man, we haven't heard much from him today. Ken Lanier has done an outstanding job. And William Fuller is one of those people who's very charitable. 15 sacks, led the AFC. Very interesting human interest story.
And what he does, he donates $500 on every sack to the Juvenile Diabetes Society, helping out the young kids with diabetes. And he has a lot of corporate involvement so that a lot of companies also donate money. He has raised this season $97,500 to battle juvenile diabetes.
That's terrific.
That is. Vance Johnson, first down. A 3rd and 8 conversion, a gain of 10. Have you noticed something? A lot of flags in the first half, very few flags in the second half. Everybody
I noticed number 57, Lamar Lathan. Sure, he's a middle linebacker, and I know he's a terrific athlete, but there's no way that he should be the guy underneath on top of Vance Johnson. They went to his zone coverage and assumed that Lathan could stay with him in that half of the field, and they were wrong.
Gaston Green to the 44-yard line. Second down and 7. Darrell Lewis, the rookie from Arizona, making the tackle.
And interesting, we're seeing some different numbers now. Darrell Lewis coming into the game, they're set. Both teams are having to go with some different people. You see right there, Vance Johnson, a little bit of a hamstring problem. Trying to stretch that out. That always happens to the fast guys like us.
Like us?
I'm sorry.
I'm not going to let that one go by.
Yeah, I
Speaking of fast guys, Gaston Green, 17 carries, 59 yards rushing.
Slowed down a little bit in the second half. The Houston Oilers have done a better job against the run.
Little swing right side. And Gaston is going to pick up a yard. That'll be about it. Al Smith makes the tackle.
Al Smith showing a lot of range from his middle linebacker position, and also give Darrell Lewis, number 29, credit. He is one of the 4 young guns that are in the secondary for the Houston Oilers. Their 4 reserve defensive backs are all rookies. And Jim Eddy, the defensive coordinator, told us that yes, that they have improved, but they have really taken a baptism of fire because they've been burned a couple of times.
Barry Johnson, the rookie free agent, activated for this game as a wide receiver. He is the 5th wide receiver. He is in this offensive set of 3rd down and 6. Denver 5 of 8, 3rd down conversion. Elway can run for it. If he can get around the corner, he cannot get around the corner as he is pulled down by Lamar Lathan.
Now, Lamar Lathan is in what's called a spy position. He's the middle linebacker. He has legitimate 4.5 speed, and you saw it right there. How many times do you ever see a linebacker run down John Elway? Interestingly enough, now with 4th and 4, you saw Dan Reeves point and say, we're going for it.
The margin is 8 points, 24-16. They have to score twice.
This will be interesting to see. John Elway in the past has pooch kicked from this formation. So let's take a look and see what happens with the shotgun here.
First down. Still going. Michael Young. Out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
The protection for Elway was outstanding, and this enables Young to get open. But watch at the end of the play. Bo Orlando will knock off Steve Jackson, who has the tackle. They hit one another, and now Young is able to get up the field with some extra yardage to the 15-yard line.
26 yards on the play.
Actually got away with a little bit of a hold there. This is a swirl. Ooh, look at this. This is a real
This is a battle.
So much for the Chuck rule, huh? Comes out on that swirl route. Spins off. When we come back, the Denver Broncos are going to have the ball on the 15-yard line heading in.
William Fuller got a finger in the eye. That was the reason for the injury timeout.
Interestingly enough, William Fuller was part of the trade. You can see Ricky Nattiel trying to walk it off there a little bit.
He came out limping.
Of an ankle sprain. William Fuller was somebody who was in that trade 5 years ago that had the quarterback for the Rams, Jim Everett, traded from Houston to the Rams. He was just kind of a throw-in into the deal. And I think really, if you look at it, Houston might have got the best of that this first Pro Bowl season.
Here again is that little shuttle pass underneath to Sharp to the 8-yard line. Goes for 7. Lamar Lathan with the tackle. That has been an effective play.
As I say, under the heading, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think this is about the 4th time they've tried that. 3 times it's been complete, and of course the other time Sharp dropped it. He has Al Smith coming to the left, going out of position, and when he cuts back to the middle, there's some grass for him to get some yardage.
And Fuller comes back into the lineup. 2nd down and 3. The ball at the 8-yard line of Houston. Sharp. Steve Sewell to the 1-yard line. And he has done everything, hasn't he?
Well, the Denver Broncos love to trap, and that's exactly what they did. Vance Johnson now implores the crowd to get into the game. The Denver Broncos now going with a 3-tight set. Trap in the middle. Right here, they do a good job trapping Al Smith. You can see coming off of there, Wydell traps him. He gets in on the tackle, but not until Sewell has a 9-yard gain to the 1-yard line.
And they'll have that same offensive set that Greg Lewis scored on earlier with Keith Trader, the linebackers, the fullback, and the lead blocker. He's number 54. From a yard away. Touchdown, Denver. Denver putting together an 80-yard touchdown drive. Greg Lewis scores a touchdown. He's had a pretty good day. 3 carries, 2 yards, 2 touchdowns. Here's the extra point. It's good. Denver pulls within 1. Houston 24. Denver 23. 6:53 left to go in the ball game. We'll be back with a kickoff in a moment. Mascot Sun Star Christine Padilla is up. 14-year-old Appaloosa horse.
There's
the mascot at a celebration.
Earlier in the week when I had a chance to chat with Greg Lewis, even though he is a rookie, he looked me right in the eye and he said, Todd, he said, this could be my only chance at this. You never know in this business. This could be it for me in terms of an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. He's making the most of it today with 2 touchdown runs.
That drive consumes 7 minutes and 32 seconds. 6:53 left. Houston leads by 1, high and short. Taken at the 20-yard line by Pinkett. And down at the 27.
Unlike the rest of the Denver Broncos, he's asking for quiet. Sheesh.
He's looking right at the south stands.
And
the notorious South Stand.
Yeah, I was going to say the South Stands, much like the notorious Dog Pound in both Cleveland and the Arsenio Hall show, they can get rabid, but John wants them quiet. Now they're going to get loud.
Throwing underneath the covers to Lorenzo White. 36-yard line, second down and 1.
The last time they began this drive, they did the exact same thing. They threw a short pass to Lorenzo White, got the crowd out of the game. Now they come up with second and short. Warren Moon is really playing a heady game today, not just making the good throws, but he's thinking out there and he's doing some things mentally that are creating the success for the Oilers.
Houston at their own 36-yard line. Second and 1. And here is White to the outside, first down. And down at the 41-yard line, so he'll pick up 5 in the first down as Atwater and Demry make the play.
Only the Houston Oilers have stopped the Houston Oilers today. The 2 drop passes that ended up with a missed field goal and a made field goal, and of course the interception to Atwater. Jack Pardee excited with the way his offense is going. He knows that Warren Moon continues to do the job. And for the Denver Broncos, they have to stop the Houston Oilers here. They cannot let them take time off the clock, go down and kick a field goal. Within this series here, the Broncos have to do something.
First down at their own 41-yard line. And Houston moves. Flags go flying. It'll be a false start. It'll be first and 15.
False start. Prior to the snap. 63 offense. Still first down.
The reason for the 1-point margin, in case you have not been with us throughout the ball game, the missed extra point with 1:17 to go in the first quarter.
It's very surprising, Charlie, while you're mentioning that. Mike Munchak, that's about his 3rd penalty where that is concerned, and that's just, you know, you wouldn't expect that from a 7-time Pro Bowler.
First and 15. Here's White. Power running to the 45-yard line.
And I love it when you're pressured. I really do. You said earlier the fact that in the offseason he worked to make his legs stronger so that come this time of the year, he was going to be able to go. Excellent call by the Houston Oilers. Watch the legs churning. First hit there at the 39-yard line. Now watch as he churns his legs where he ends up. That's another 6 yards just by driving hard.
Denver has taken a timeout. We can go back to what I started the story a moment ago, and that being the missed extra point of the Denver Broncos. Weidel, the center, who is normally just a snapper, but with the thigh injury to Keith Karts, Weidel starting, and as Todd pointed out, with that tape on his hands, the holder, Gary Kubiak, and the kicker, David Treadwell.
Well, how many times have we seen that happen in a game where that becomes pivotal? You don't think about it at the time.
And here's a look at it. The snap is high. When Kubiak brings it down, he drops it for a moment. And then the laces are to the kicker side. They hate to see the laces. He's still got to kick under.
That's exactly. He still has to kick up, and he's the one that hooked it. You know, when we look at it the second time, the snap really wasn't that bad.
It really wasn't. You're right.
Lorenzo White now having an outstanding game. 14 carries for 65 yards. Also 5 catches for 35. 100 total yards in the game.
Now he's over 100 total yards, and he continues to roll inside the 45 of Denver. Randy Robbins with the tackle, and the clock continues to move. 4.5 minutes left. Houston leading by 1.
And that man right there has to feel awfully good about himself. Here they have arguably the best passing offense in the league, and now it's coming down to crunch time. And where do they go? They go to number 44.
And Mike Kroll, the rookie, who has been named the Associated Press Defensive Rookie of the Year, is the injured player. Clock is stopped with 4:29 left to go in the ballgame. Houston 24, Denver 23, and tomorrow we look for a ball game that could well equal this. O.J. Simpson will be there in the pregame show on NFL Live with a feature on Bruce Smith. And the ball game, Kansas City and Buffalo, as the divisional playoffs continue on NBC. That'll be at 12 noon Eastern time tomorrow.
Interestingly enough,
oh, look at the weather. The weather in Buffalo, always a factor. Temperature 32 degrees. That sounds like here, possible flurry.
I was about to say, Charlie, that interestingly enough, even though Christian Okoye has been a non-factor for the Kansas City Chiefs down the stretch, a man who has come into the breach has been Barry Word, who now has 2 straight 100-yard gains heading into this Buffalo game.
Gary Kubiak, the backup quarterback, and also the holder on extra points and field goals.
You know, we've seen that. I remember reading one time Paul Hornung said that he would rather kick the laces than kick the side of the ball, because when you kick the side of the ball where the air hole is, where you pump that thing in, that can make the thing slide one way or another. So the more we look at that replay, the more I think that was certainly makeable for Treadwell.
So Mike Kroll now comes out for a play.
Mike Kroll, as you mentioned, you know, 4th pick overall, had 10 sacks, defensive rookie of the year. Interestingly enough, today, the team that leads the AFC in sacks, second in the NFL, the Denver Broncos, do not have a single sack today.
And with Kroll coming out for at least a play that is not a charged timeout, this pass is complete to Jeffries. They are going to spot it at the 39-yard line, so it'll go for 6. The clock continues to move inside of 4 minutes remaining. Of course, Houston wanting to accomplish 2 things here. They, of course, would like to score again, but I think more importantly, they want to keep that clock moving. Timeouts remaining, 2 on each side.
Interestingly enough, because of the accuracy of Warren Moon, a misnomer where the run-and-shoot offense is concerned is that it's not a ball-controlled team. At the end of the season, they had nearly 31 minutes, which means that they averaged more per game in time of possession than their opponents.
39-yard line following a gain of 6, second down and 4. Moon comes back to the near side to Jeffries, who has it. The wide receivers on the opposite side looking back to Moon and patting on their right hip. Were they signaling to him that they had the double coverage there and it'll be single coverage on the left?
Yes, that's what they were signaling. It's interesting that they have that sort of communication. Inside, the responsibility goes to both Ernest Givens and Drew Hill there, because they have to communicate to the people on the outside, because in a crowd like this, certainly they can't hear what Warren Moon is saying. I wanted to make a point here with regards to Haywood Jeffries. We got on him a little bit for dropping those 2 passes earlier. Isn't it interesting that Warren Moon does not lose confidence in him? And now, in obviously the most significant drive of the game, where does he go to get the first down? Haywood Jeffries.
His century man, 100 catches during the regular season. As you saw, a gain of 5 and the first down. 3:13 time remaining in the ball game. Houston 24, Denver 23.
Now, the one thing that Warren Moon does not want to do, take a look at those numbers, 26 for 32. That is an impressive over 80%.
81%.
Now, what Kevin Gilbride is telling Warren Moon in this situation is that we cannot afford an incompletion, and incompletion stops the clock.
White is going to lose a yard. And it will be second down and 11.
Denver's taking a timeout here, which is smart, because right there, the game clock was even with the 45-second clock, and Houston could have got away with just letting it run down.
So Denver, as you saw, with 1 timeout remaining in the ball game.
Because of what they're doing there, Charlie, now this forces, this sounds funny, this forces Houston to throw.
Play right into my strength, if you will, please.
So in other words, they just can't hand off to Lorenzo White, let the clock run down, kick a field goal, or punt it and put the pressure on the defense. Warren Moon is going to have to make some plays here to his wideouts, and again, really the pressure is on the defensive backs for the Denver Broncos.
Wade Phillips, defensive coordinator. His dad, of course, Bum, the former head coach of Houston. Now one of their broadcasters is here for the ball game.
This is all part of the chess game with Wade Phillips. He has to ask himself the question at this point, do I want to stay with a standard 4-man rush and see if the secondary can do the job, or do I want to blitz Warren Moon, take some chances, and knock them back?
The report on Mike Kroll, he's just had the wind knocked out of him, and he can come back in. Moon goes deep. There's some bumping inside of the 5. No flags, incomplete. Jeffries, the intended receiver. And the Broncos secondary may have gotten away with one.
This entire game, we have been talking about how well what Warren Moon has done. Smart plays, heads-up plays, athletic plays. Why, oh why, are you throwing a post pattern with 2:35 left? Why aren't you throwing the short routes that Haywood Jeffries has been coming up with all day long? Ernest Gibbons underneath, Drew Hill underneath. Kevin Gilbride and Warren Moon are certainly going to be second guessed for that call.
And that does stop the clock with 2:36 remaining. Houston 5 of 7, third down conversion. Pass is complete, but it will be short of the first down. They'll mark it at the 32-yard line. It'll go for only 3.
Prior to the snap. Still third down.
There was movement prior to the snap. That is an automatic call. So it'll be third down and 16 on the false start. And that play is completely erased.
The only thing good for Houston there is now the clock has ticked down to where whatever this play is, assuming that it's not incomplete, will take it to the 2-minute warning. But what Houston has to concern itself with here at the 40-yard line is, can they get into field goal position? Not necessarily can they get the first down, because it's a little unrealistic to go 3rd and 16. If they can get a 10-yarder down to the 30-yard line, then they would be in Al Del Greco's field goal range, and that's something that both Kevin Gilbride and Warren Moon have to concern themselves with here.
Third and 16. Moon with all the time in the world. Now a flag is down. Pass is complete. It'll be 9 yards shy of the first down to Curtis Duncan, but a marker back at the 44 usually means against the offense. Clock now at 2:23.
3 times now during this drive, the clock has been stopped. It has only gone from around 2:54 down to 2:23 in the last 3 plays. Now, whether they take the play or not here, it's advantage Denver Broncos because the flag has stopped the clock. Now
and Houston stopping the clock themselves.
Now at the 34-yard line, here's an interesting point. If they refuse the penalty, that's a 51-yard field goal attempt.
Illegal hands to the face. 63, offense. Still third down.
Mike Munjack, he has had a struggle today.
Well, for an all-pro player, this has certainly not been the best day of his career. We'll get a chance to see this. Right in the middle of your screen, take a look at number 63. Right up front, you're going to see Fletcher coming. There's the hand to the face. Actually, that wasn't there it is.
There it is.
Right there on the face mask. He gets Greg Crate, and truthfully, I'm surprised that they took this penalty. If for no other reason than now this gives Houston a chance to run some more time off the clock. I would look for the Oilers here just to hand off to Lorenzo White, get down to the 2-minute warning.
Third and 26 they do. This is White on the draw to the 46-yard line. And now Denver stops the clock. They take their last timeout, stopping it at 2:15. What they did in reality, they saved 15 seconds. Denver has really worked the clock well. They have no more timeouts, but it being 4th down, they will have the ball on offense, feeling that Elway can control the clock that way.
Charlie, you know what? I hate to disagree with you. It's not so much that Denver has used the clock well, it's that Houston has worked it absolutely horribly here during this set. I mean, you have
I could agree with that, too.
You have the ball 1st and 10, 2:54 on the clock. Now you have it 4th down, and there's still 2:15 remaining. Anybody that knows anything about John Elway knows that he is a comeback kid.
And Greg Montgomery will be kicking. This is his first punt of the ball game, coming with 2:15. You saw Elway; he's ready to go. Johnson is the return man. He told us yesterday he would rather fair catch. I don't think he will here. Let's see. The reason that he is returning, he has the best hands on the team. Here's pressure, he gets it off. Oh, a good kick. It's going to be down at the 2-yard line.
What a great kick by Montgomery. Look at how excited he is. There is a man who has not been able to do this. He hasn't been active the entire day. And there he comes in. Huge kick on the 2-yard line.
The drive, Cleveland. Elway, 98 yards. Can he do it again? He has 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
Big difference here, however, is he does not have to go 98 yards. In this case, really, he only has to go about 68 to get in position for a Treadwell field goal.
Denver from the Denver 2, first down. And how ironic it might be if that happens. Treadwell, who missed the extra point, kicks the winning field goal. But first things first, from the shotgun and the end zone. And the pass is complete. Michael Young, a diving reception at the 24-yard line. 2-minute warning. We'll step aside for a minute. Don't miss this one. You gotta love it. Mention the drive. 1986 AFC Championship game. This was the tying touchdown. Elway to Mark Jackson with 39 seconds remaining. The Broncos went on to win it in overtime on a Rich Carlos field goal. And here they started at the 2, but as Todd mentioned, they need only to get to about the Houston 30-yard line for the field goal attempt. Houston 24, Denver 23. Elway from the shotgun. Lathan is chasing him. He gets it away, and he's throwing it away. It'll be second down.
They came with a lot of people there. They came with the strong safety, Bubba McDowell, Lamar Lathan, who ends up knocking him out of bounds on Al Smith from the middle. Now here's a big chess game where Jim Eddy is concerned. He can't afford the luxury of letting Elway sit in the pocket unencumbered because he's going to pick that secondary apart. He decided that time to come with some people, and it worked for him.
And remember, Denver does not have a timeout. Houston has 2. 1:52. Time remaining. The margin a point. Elway goes deep and he overthrows Vance Johnson.
Chris Dishman does a nice job on the coverage. He goes with the corner route. He has a man for man. That's funny. As I run back to the huddle, I just saw Chris Dishman pat Vance Johnson on the butt. He's running with him stride for stride. He knows he has some helps him to the inside. Now he cuts back. Only a throw like he had to Michael Young earlier could have snuck it in there, and I don't know what Vance Johnson's complaining about, because Dishman had excellent coverage.
It is third down and 10. Denver at their own 24-yard line. Looking into a Colorado sunset from the shotgun. The quick out, the pass is complete. Ricky Nattiel, and he is dropped immediately, way shy of the first down, 28-yard line.
Now what's difficult about this is that they're in the 2-minute situation. It's a fourth down. They do not have another timeout, I don't believe, so this will be interesting.
And Michael Young is the injured player at the 40-yard line. There may be a penalty.
By rule, all required for a 10-second run with the clock.
If you can hear Bobby Greer, he's telling us right here that there's a 10-second runoff.
That is by rule when you have, after you've used all of your timeouts, and you're in this particular time situation on the clock, any injury, regardless of whether it's faking, whether it is real, the official will stand over the clock, let 10 seconds run off before the next play.
But here is what the benefit is to the Denver Broncos. Because they were in the hurry-up on 4th down and 6, the most crucial play of the game, Elway was going to have to audible that at the line of scrimmage. Now, because of the injury to Michael Young, they get back in the huddle, they regroup, they get exactly the personnel that they want, and they can call exactly the play that they want.
4th down and 6. And was it not 4th down and 4 that Denver was successful in this ball game?
That man right there waiting for his turn for redemption. Earlier, as you mentioned, hooking that extra point.
Can Denver do it twice in the same ball game, converting on 4th down? This is 4th and 6, a minute 38 left. And that throw, you may recall, was to this man who is being helped off, Michael Young. It was a perfect pass right down the right sideline.
You're going to have people spread out all over the field. What about the possibility of John Elway, one of the 2 or 3 best running quarterbacks in the National Football League, going with the quarterback draw?
Not a bad choice. They have to let the 10 seconds run off.
10 seconds go down.
And then the umpire, who the center can see when he drops his hand, then the ball can be snapped. There it is, hand down, ball can be snapped. Elway's going to throw. Has pressure from the backside, scrambles out left. He's running for it. He's got it. Elway does it again. Oh, you gotta love it.
John, it's funny to see the reaction of Dan Reeves. He's seen this so many times before. If you remember the graphic we had earlier, 18 come from behind wins in the 4th quarter for John Elway and the Denver Broncos. He's seen it before. It's got to be frustrating to the Houston Oilers defense, who did everything right, but John Elway's athleticism overcame the right defense.
6th time in the ball game that Elway has rushed, total 39 yards. Pass is tipped incomplete. That stops the clock, 1:14. And it is 2nd down and 10.
Once again, the Houston Oilers came with the blitz. Both Darrell Lewis and Bubba McDowell came off the corner. Take a look at number 29. Darrell Lewis is going to come off the near corner, get in his face, and as a result, they bat the pass down. Oh, we're not going to have time for the replay.
Jeff Alm, who was there.
Here it comes. Here comes Darrell Lewis jumping up, but it's Jeff Alm in the middle.
And he is pushed down by Chuck Wydell. And there are no flags. Alm now has come out, and he has been replaced to the lineup.
That's interesting because they don't want any stupid mistakes at this point. No arguments, no pulling of the face mask. They got him right out of the game.
2nd and 10 from the shotgun. Elway goes deep and is incomplete. He overthrows everybody. Derek Russell, the closest receiver. And it's going to be 3rd down and 10, back at the 35-yard line.
Once again, Jim Eddy doing an excellent job of mixing up the defensive coverages. One time he comes with 6, this time he comes with 4. It's a bit of a chess game here between John Elway and Jim Eddy. What do you come up with in this situation? And last time they had 3rd and 10, Jim Eddy made the right call. That man is frustrated. He would like to be out there simply because of the fact that he wants to have some control over what's happening on the field. Now he doesn't.
And remember, Houston leads by 1, 24-23, 1 minute and 8 seconds left. The field goal kicker for Denver, David Treadwell. 3rd down and 10. Backside pressure, Elway steps away, throws back, has a man, and it is incomplete. Vance Johnson was coming back to help him, and that pass from Elway across the field and about 50 yards.
To a pass he made earlier against the Kansas City Chiefs. Certainly there's a lot of argument by the crowd, but take a look what's going to happen at the end of this play. Lamar Lathan, as we mentioned, a fast linebacker, has him in his tracks. What an athletic play here to break and to void him. Push him off. Now at the end of the play, you're going to see Richard Johnson just cream Vance Johnson, but the ball is so far beyond. Good call by the back judge. This was not a catchable football.
And what had happened is Johnson had broken off his route to try and come back to Elway, and Elway threw it where he was. Houston takes a timeout. They stop the clock, 59 seconds.
I'm not sure I like that. I know what they're
4th
trying
down
to do.
and 10, they want to regroup.
Yeah, that's all well and good, but you've got John Elway reeling. You got him thrown off his back foot. You don't want to give him the chance to come over and think about it, relax, get his composure.
But you only have to stop them one play. From Houston's standpoint, if they stop Elway and the Broncos on this play, they win. Why take a chance? 59 seconds left. Put it all together, make sure everybody knows what you're doing. The whole season is this one play for Houston. Now, do you blitz? Do you put the pressure on?
4th and 10, I don't think so. What you do in this situation is you rush with 4, you bracket Vance Johnson. I can't see from here if Michael Young is back in the game, but if he is back in the game, he's been their clutch 3rd and 4th down receiver. Single cover the rookie Derek Russell, but make sure that you have Vance Johnson and Steve Sewell covered.
And remember, Denver has converted on 4th and 4, and they have converted on 4th and 6, and now it is 4th and 10. Barry Johnson goes wide to the far side. 3 wide receivers on the near side.
But only 2 corners, Charlie.
Elway scrambles, throws, has a man. They've got it. It's Johnson down the sideline. He is within field goal range. It doesn't get any better. Oh, I love it. 44 yards on 4th and 10.
Once John Elway breaks contain, he puts the pressure on the secondary to make a decision. Watch the man covering Vance Johnson. Do you stay with him or do you come up? He comes up to go after Elway. A bad decision. The reason it is even if Elway runs for the first down, the clock keeps going.
And here is Sewell to the 11-yard line. No timeouts remaining for Denver. Clock continues to move.
But John Elway has the composure. He's looking around. He knows all he has to do is get his people up to the line of scrimmage and spike the ball.
It'll be a first down at the 11-yard line, and he spikes it. Now, 20 seconds remaining. Will Elway take a shot at the end zone, or they want to kick it now?
Absolutely not. They're huddled over there right now. They're going to kick it.
They're going to kick it now. A lot of things could go wrong. Why take any chances? You got to hear. Let's see now if David Treadwell can do it.
Now, this is interesting. A couple of Super Bowls ago, I remember when Cliff Harris came out and said something to Roy Girella, and that's exactly what Dishman is doing. Look at Dishman in the huddle. Look at number 28. He was saying something to Treadwell right there. He was trying to psych him out. Now, when they come up the line of scrimmage, are the Houston Oilers going to call a timeout and try to freeze him out?
I would think so. 28 yards.
There they are. That's exactly right.
And they will. Sure. 20 seconds left. Ooh. Remember the drive? They did it in Cleveland.
Look at that baby face. Look at that baby face. What's going through that young man's mind right now? It's a chance for redemption. The entire season rests on this one kick. One thing that I should mention here, Charlie, soccer-style kickers who have the natural hook prefer the left hash. Now to the right hash, it could be a little bit more difficult. I find it interesting as we take a look at number 72, Keith Karts. Because of the snap problems earlier by Wydell, even though Karts hasn't played, he is coming into the game to be the snapper. What he is explaining to the referee right now is he's saying, look, right now it is second down. If I fumble the snap, I can come up here, and then we can get up to the line of scrimmage, spike the ball, and still kick another field goal. That's what he's trying to explain to Bobby Greer. Treadwell inside the 30-yard line this season has been perfect. 15 of 15.
28 yards away. Low snap. He gets it off. It's good. Kubiak this time scrambled with the hands and set it up. 16 seconds remain. 26-24 Denver.
job by Gary Kubiak. Another bad snap on the hop. He gets it up just in time. Treadwell makes the adjustment. Thank you, Gary Kubiak. Thank you for saving me with that, with your great hands. Otherwise, Treadwell already in his motion, as you notice. Watch David Treadwell already in his motion. He can't adjust. He's got to go through. At the last 10th of a second, Kubiak able to get it up. Treadwell hammers it through. The Broncos are ecstatic.
The Drive, Part 2.
That man did everything he could conceivably do to help this team win his football game. And if you've seen Warren Moon in the past, you know he is not an emotional individual. This one really has to hurt.
Coleman from the 6-yard line. And he goes out of bounds to stop the clock at the 20-yard line. Houston with 12 seconds remaining in the season, trailing by 2.
What a shot to this Houston team. Up 21-6 in the first quarter. Everything going their way. We talk all the time about strange things happening in this place. That is exactly what has happened to that team right there. Look at the beleaguered looks on their faces. They thought in the first half that it was their game for the taking, and for all intents and purposes it was. But once you have somebody like number 7 on your side, John Elway, who can make magic happen, they're never out of a game.
Houston needs 50 yards in 11 seconds to try a field goal attempt. Moon's pass to Givens. He goes out about 7 seconds. He's out at the 36-yard line for Denver. The Drive, Part 2, 11 plays, 87 yards. It consumed 1 minute, 51 seconds. It led to the 28-yard field goal.
Now, just for the sake of reference here, if they in 6 seconds can get that exact same route, they get the exact same route to Givens here in 6 seconds, they can kick about a 55-yard field goal. And in this altitude, you never know.
Del Greco against the Jets at a 53-yarder.
I think they're going to run the exact same route to the other side.
One second left.
What a bitter pill for this team to swallow. They proved that they could play outdoors. They proved that the elements had nothing to do with it. They took on the home field advantage. They did everything. They spent it all out there. If you want to run the gamut of emotions, see the faces on the Houston Oilers and see the faces for the Denver Broncos.
1 second left. It's over. Denver wins 26-24.
So many times, but did you believe that you guys would be in a position to get a chance to win this game?
I tell you what, we were chasing all day long. I just hoped that we had one chance to win it at the end of the game. The defense did a great job, and gave us a chance. It was on the one, but we were just glad we had a chance. And boy, I tell you what, everybody just played their tail off. We got the job done.
And that last drive, you had 2 fourth downs. Both of them were broken plays. Can you tell me what happened?
Well, they got some good pressure, and I knew on 4th down I wanted to try to get out and scramble, make something happen. And fortunately, there was some room for me to run on the first one. The second one, they covered me pretty good, and Vance Johnson turned up the field.
field, and I was able to get him the ball.
Now, tell me the difference between this team and teams in the past. No one thought you'd be here this time of the year.
I'll tell you what, our defense has played great all year, and they've really kept us in every football game. They struggled a little bit today, and I'm just thankful that the offense could pick it up and really score some points because the Oilers were moving the heck out of the ball, and we just came back to offense and got it done.
What about Buffalo next week?
We're looking forward to it, but I hope the Chiefs win.
Back to you. Up to you, Charlie.
And, of course, if the Chiefs win, then that game, the championship game, would be played here. If Buffalo wins, Denver will be at Buffalo. 4th down and 10 in the pass to that man that you saw for a moment, Vance Johnson and Warren Moon, walking into the locker room for the last time this season.
I couldn't help but think as you watch Vance Johnson get picked up and Warren Moon walking off, heroes ride and losers walk. It's a shame.
We'll be back.
You'll need both feet, John, because there are two legendary backsides in the Chiefs' backfield these days. Marcus Allen may be the oldest running back in the NFL at 33. He may not get Joe's publicity, but he does have 13 touchdowns. He may yet beat his quarterback in the running for comeback player of the year. Marcus Allen performing beyond anyone's expectations in Kansas City. And we spelled out what this game means for the Chiefs, but it's critical for the Broncos too, because a defeat would put them out of the division race regardless of results elsewhere. Well, just like the playoffs, Bob Golick is edging inexorably closer. Tonight he's in Cleveland. And Bob, you've suffered at the hands of John Elway a few times, and they have the best record in the NFL over the years at home. What is it about going into Mile High Stadium?
Well, first of all, they have that thin air up a mile above sea level, and they keep trying to tell you, the coaches do anyway, that it's all psychological, that it doesn't affect your performance. But you know, when you're getting oxygen on the sidelines during warm-ups, you know that there's something wrong going on. But I think a lot of it comes down to John Elway himself. Obviously, a great team, a lot of talent supporting him. But whether it's in Mile High Stadium or the years I played here in Cleveland with Marty Schottenheimer, we had some bad bouts with John Elway. John actually has taken, through his ability alone, taken games away from people who thought that they had games locked up. So I think you got to put a lot of it right on John Elway.
Okay, and on the subject of his supporting cast, a couple of injuries to report for the Broncos. Wide receiver Vance Johnson, their best deep threat, is out, and so is cornerback Charles Dimry. So a weakened Denver secondary for Joe Montana to work against. Let's go over to Mile High Stadium then. Montana and the Chiefs have the ball at their own 35 to start the game.
Joe Montana comes out throwing and hitting a diving catch by J.J. Burton, or is it Willie Davis? It's Davis with a grab at the 41-yard line. Dave Wyman covers for the Broncos. Shane Dronette will not see these in any particular order. Forget about down linemen, linebackers. You can mix those any way you want. Craig and Williams, Kroll, Mecklenburg, perhaps another Pro Bowl for him. Wyman. Simon Fletcher deserves to go to the Pro Bowl, according to Marty Schottenheimer, the KC coach. Braxton, watch Frank Robinson. He replaces Charles Dimry. Dimry out until the playoffs. Knee injury against San Diego. Marcus Allen's first carry, shy of a first down. He needed 3. He got 2. It's 3rd and 1. Simon Fletcher with a tackle.
Dick, this is so important for Denver to shut down this Kansas City running game. In the Chiefs' victory in Kansas City, the Chiefs rushed for 160 yards, and what that does is puts in the play-action fake. It draws safeties to the line of scrimmage to help support the run. That is a huge key for Denver.
3rd, it's closer to 2 yards than 1. Montana having another sensational season. 8 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Play action fake, and he gets it to Anders, and the fullback has a first down at the Denver 48. And what a quick trigger by Montana under pressure from Mike Kroll.
And Dick, when he rolls out, watch him throw it sidearm. 51 Kroll is all over him. Watch the sidearm throw to get it out to Kimball Anders.
So Montana has them in Denver territory and gives to Marcus Allen with a big hole at the 40. And Allen, who's found the fountain of youth in the Midwest, is to the 35 on a 12-yard gallop. Steve Atwater makes the stop for the Broncos.
One of the things that's changed about this Kansas City offensive line is the ability to pull Marcus Allen right up behind Siglar, the right guard, or the right tackle, excuse me. Excellent job of getting up through there. That's Will Shields. I've misidentified him. Not Sigler. Will Shields, 68, the rookie from Nebraska.
Allen with 10 touchdowns rushing to lead the NFL. The long throw for Willie Davis, and it lands 5 yards too long. Coverage by Tyrone Braxton. It was Davis who caught Montana's first touchdown pass when he joined the Chiefs. Yeah, when in Tampa Bay. Second down, 10. Montana to Burden. Shy of the first down at the 26, tackled by Frank Robinson.
Dick, think about this opening drive. A couple of runs, a sprint by Joe Montana, a couple of square ins. Just this multiple Kansas City offense that Joe Montana is so comfortable with.
Kimball Anders on the toss and chopped down as Dennis Smith, the veteran All-Pro safety, races up from his deep position. Joe Montana leading the Chiefs, trying to do something Kansas City hasn't accomplished in more than a decade, and that's win here in Denver. Marcus Allen, the lone running back. The throw to the tight end, Jonathan Hayes, and he has a first down at the Denver 12. Lilo Lang pushes him out of bounds. 14 plus on the play.
Dick, the Denver Broncos choice there, what they call their Tiger defense. Here's the tight end right here. He just runs a crossing route, but they have 7 defensive backs in the ball game. And Joe Montana recognizes it perfectly. He's got the one guy in single coverage, Jonathan Hayes with Lilo Lang. And how does Joe Montana always seem to make the right choice? Answer me that question.
Hayes' 16th catch of the year, still looking for a touchdown. The drive continues from the opening kickoff. Montana to Jonathan Hayes, and he's got his first score. Atwater with a tackle. Kansas City with an impressive march engineered by Joe Montana.
That was a thing of beauty. Here's the touchdown. Strong safety, Dennis Smith. Weak safety, Steve Atwater. Here is Jonathan Hayes. Watch the pick run by Cash on Mike Kroll right at the line of scrimmage. Joe Montana, again, recognizes Smith up at the line of scrimmage. Possibility of the blitz. Hits the hot receiver. Atwater can't keep him out of the end zone.
Veteran Nick Lowry adds the extra point. A 65-yard drive. 8 plays, 11 on the touchdown to Jonathan Hayes.
He recognizes it beautifully. That's an easy score for Kansas City.
John Elway tried to keep Denver's first drive going with this piece of improvisation on third down, but he was penalized for being over the line of scrimmage when he made the pass. So the Broncos had to punt, and the Chiefs have the ball back at their own 20.
Chiefs with the ball for the second time. Joe Montana just dissecting the Denver defense on the first possession, driving them quickly, 5 for 6 passing to that 7-0 lead. Play action down the middle. What a catch by J.J. Burden at the 46-yard line. A 19-yard play. Atwater and Robinson with a tackle.
Frank Robinson taking the place of Charles Dimry. Dimry was the Broncos' best coverage cornerback. Montana sets, looks, quickly throws. Robinson, 36. He went to Boise State. He played Montana. He played Montana State. But today he's playing Joe Montana.
There he is, 36, Frank Robinson, who grew up in the San Francisco area, rooting for Joe Montana.
Not today.
Delay to Marcus Allen, who gets a couple to the 48-yard line. Well, with that touchdown pass to Jonathan Hayes, Montana edges closer on the all-time list to another great quarterback. He moves within one of Dan Fouts for the number 5 spot all-time. Fran Tarkenton way out there, and of course Dan Marino there in second place at 298. There's eyes of Montana surveying the defense. 2nd and 8. That's going to be intercepted. A pass that floated and picked off by Bradford. Ronnie Bradford to the 49. A flag is down. They're going to say he is down. Excuse me, he's down at the 41-yard line.
I have a feeling he might keep this football. Jones runs the wrong pattern. Joe Montana he's making all kinds of motions towards Jones. He was down there. It goes back. Joe Montana's third interception of the season.
And the Broncos turned that turnover into points. Jason Elam's 36-yard field goal, cutting the Chiefs' lead to 4. Join us after the break for the second quarter. Welcome back. Kansas City leads 7-3, and as we join the second quarter, they're driving again with a 1st and 10 at their 37-yard line.
Marcus tricked up. Shane Dronette able to get a piece of his body on him, and Allen goes down at the line of scrimmage.
It did look like they caught feet. That's an easy tackle for Shane Dronette. Now again, the Kansas City Chiefs' choice here is to run outside. Dronette comes from the backside. Yeah, he just runs right in the block. Yeah, he steps on his foot. That's the easiest tackle he'll make this year.
Keep the uniform in that way. Allen in the flat. Dropped after a yard gain. Good play by Tyrone Braxton.
That was a great tackle.
Radar Braxton from North Dakota State.
He's the last guy left out there. Normally you'd like to have this thrown a little stronger, but Joe has to put it over the outstretched arms of 73 Fletcher, and it just allows Braxton to make a beautiful tackle for little or no gain.
Now on 3rd and 10. Montana complete to Willie Davis, and Davis hit in the secondary by Darrell Hall. 15 yards for Montana. First down, Kansas City.
He's so cool in the pocket, and the last time these two teams met, Davis had 6 catches for 139 yards. Look at him looking around, reading, has great confidence in Willie Davis, a young man who ran the wishbone in college at Central Arkansas. Really had to teach himself to catch the ball, and now his dream fulfilled, catching it from Joe Montana.
Yeah, he learned his craft in the World League at Orlando, and now running the Jerry Rice version of the offense. Play action to Marcus, and the throw complete. J.J. Burton. Dennis Smith wrestles him down at the 27-yard line. 20 more.
Part of this offense and the problem that Kansas City has had is the two people that know it best are Paul Hackett and Joe Montana. Now Burton almost makes a mistake here. He doesn't carry in far enough. That's almost tipped away by Braxton. 34. You see Burton when he runs his square in, and see if he keeps carrying in. That's the pattern that Joe's looking for, but accuracy makes the completion.
If Willie Davis is the Jerry Rice, J.J. Burton is the John Taylor of the offense, and now it's Marcus Allen, and he's hit by Mike Kroll. Kroll seemed to be free in the backfield.
Well, this Denver defense is not big, and you don't know when somebody's going to blitz. Here's Kroll on the inside of Jonathan Hayes, 85. Jonathan Hayes misses the block right there to stop Marcus Allen for a loss.
It'll be 2nd and 11.
This Denver defense, you got to take a second at the line of scrimmage just to identify who's there if you're Kansas City.
Tim Barnett to the right, and Fred Jones split left. Montana down the middle, complete to Barnett, who's inside the 5. Atwater and Smith make the stop. 24 more for Joe.
Man, this is... You run out of adjectives. Again, looking straight down the middle, and then he goes to the right at the last second. He picked, again, the one receiver that's got single coverage. They had Cash down the middle. This is Braxton. You're going to see on the left, Cash is double covered right at the end of this play. There's the double coverage on the tight end. Montana, again, makes the right choice.
First and goal at the 4, 7-3, Kansas City. Marcus Allen, he's in the end zone again. The man who leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns has his 11th of the year on the ground and his 14th of the season. 80-yard drive, 10 plays.
You're going to see motion, and you're going to see guards pulling, and Marcus Allen, as he's done throughout his career. Kimball Anders, 38, a good lead block. Zott, 79, an excellent block. And Marcus Allen, who told us last night, he said that I chose Kansas City because this offense fit my talents. I could catch the ball a lot and run the ball on the goal line. And man, has he done both.
Lowry for the extra point. Snap, a good job done by Barker to get it down, and Lowry skids as he kicks the ball, and it wasn't very pretty, but the job is done.
On the second play of the Broncos' next drive, John Elway was intercepted by Charles Mincy. The Chiefs missed the chance to extend their lead when Nick Lowry's field goal attempt went wide. So late in the first half, Broncos are driving again from their 49.
3:04 to go before the intermission. Delpino and Bernstein in the backfield this time, and Elway shoots to the tight end, Reggie Johnson, who's been out for a couple of games with a hamstring. That's his 16th catch of the year for 16 yards.
Yeah, Kansas City missed the coverage there. They had Kevin Ross moved over there late. He's the free safety. Martin Bayless was totally out of position.
Go from the 35. Elway sends Marshall to the right. Those are the two tight ends. And Bernstein flares to the left. Underneath to Sharp. And Shannon Sharp. 10 more to the 25. Martin Bayless, the tackler. Shannon says, come on, let's get going here. Mile high.
Actually, he should be doing that to John Elway. He's been open a couple of times. John has not thrown it to him.
Elway with time. Hits his tight end again, and Johnson has it. First and goal at the 7. Elway chewing up big chunks. That's 13 more.
This one should come right at you. Here's the receiver right over here. It's linebacker coverage. Tracy Simeon. Simeon never looks back. Boy, that is an accurate throw by John Elway.
Clock running, 1:34. Broncos have all their timeouts left. They don't want to score too soon here, so they're not going to use one at this point. 4 shots from the 7 to make this one tight at halftime. Elway going to run himself and out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Neil Smith made sure he didn't go upfield.
Excellent coverage by Kansas City, and Robert Delpino was out in front of John Elway. And if you're kind of in a can't win situation if you're the running back, you make yourself a receiver, you block for the quarterback. As it was, he picked up very little yardage.
10th play of this drive, 1:16 left in the half. Elway gaining 1 yard on the scramble. Well, they run to Bernstein, and he's toppled at the 4. Did not fool the Chiefs. Lonnie Martz, 51, submarining to make the stop.
This is an aggressive front 7 for Kansas City. They try their darndest to. Sally Amua goes up. He looks hurt.
Big guy from Arizona State. 3rd and goal. 2 men in motion. There'll be a flag on that. Elway throws. Complete at the 1-yard line to Shannon Sharp. You can't have 2 guys running unless you're playing north of the border.
You're right. It's allowed in Canada. John didn't even see the other guy in motion.
Illegal motion on the offense. 2 men moving at the same time. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
So the 5-yard penalty back to the 9. 28 seconds left in the half. 6 Denver penalties here in this first half. Elway. Sharp has a man wide open. You called it. Shannon Sharp.
You can see Elway's looking for Sharp all the way. And when the defense drops him, yes, sir.
Leading receiver for the Broncos this year. He's got 60 on the season, and that's his 5th touchdown. Elam's try for point. And the Denver Broncos on a typical Elway. Final 2 minutes and a half drive, pulled to within 14-10.
Start the third quarter.
Elway trying to continue the magic that he had floating around this field at the end of the half. Oh my, Bernstein runs into a wall of white, and a gain of just a couple. And Newton was one of them. Played his football at Florida, was drafted by Minnesota in '85.
You know, it's surprising that Newton is that big. You'd figure his big brother Nate got all the food, but Tim seems to have walked up to the dinner table there a few times too.
He's 6 feet tall, 269.
He's at least 269.
I wonder if he likes French fries as much as his brother.
Nobody likes French fries as much as Nate.
He's looking for an all-right commercial. Again, into the center of the line for short yardage. 2, maybe 3, goes Milburn, his first carry of the game.
Dick, you can see Denver here trying to at least threaten Kansas City with the run to give John Elway some room to throw.
But I suppose Elway looked at the new face there, Newton, and said, well, let's test him out. Newton makes the tackles.
These numbers aren't good enough. Those numbers certainly weren't good enough. But again, now it's third and medium yardage for Elway to convert here.
So he goes shotgun. This is where he's dangerous on the run, and he's throwing for Bernstein. All the way to the 35 of Kansas City. Longest play of the game, 41 yards.
Kansas City threatens blitz to keep running backs in, and Doug Terry drops coverage on the running back. Another break of that cardinal rule against John Elway. You're gonna see him come out here and up the field, and Doug Terry just never really gets the coverage on him. Bumps him there and then kind of lets him go. And Elway, what a beautiful touch on that pass.
On first down, Bernstein to the 31-yard line. Tracy Simeon completes the work started by Derek Thomas. 2nd and 7 for Elway, trailing 14-10, early third quarter. Glenn Milburn trying to get the little guy outside, and it's a good move. Makes something out of nothing with a 25, just shy of the first down.
Watch Phillips. Watch what happens. Bernstein puts his head right into him, and then Phillips trips over Karts, lands right on his back.
Pretty good block by Bernstein.
Yeah.
Bernstein hit, but drives forward, appears to have the first down. Tim Newton made the tackle. So with 2 fresh men inside, Newton and Mickle, not starters. Wade Phillips goes right at him, and a first down at the 23.
And hey, Rod Bernstein's come out here with a fire. I mean, that long reception down the sideline, the first catch by the running back today, and those rushing yards. I mean, all they have to do is just threaten this defense, and then you hope Rod Bernstein will break one for pretty good distance.
On first down, they take out the tight end, so 3 wide receivers for Elway. Throws incomplete. Intended for Tony Kimbrough, who's caught only 1 pass all year, and the veteran Albert Lewis there to break it up.
Derek Thomas, for the first time today, got pressure on John Elway. Tries to jump inside Freeman, then as he rolls, Elway rolls, Thomas is there. I don't think there's ever been a quarterback in the game better at that than John Elway. Rolling, setting, throwing, and throwing with steam for a receiver. Close call. Both were looking at the ball. Incidental contact.
2nd and 10. Delay to Milburn. Well done by the defense of the Chiefs, and Darren Nickel, another Florida Gator, there to make the stop along with Doug Terry.
Dick, Kansas City is going with the 7 defensive backs, just 4 guys up front. So Denver's countering with the draw, which is a good idea, but you're right. The defense of Kansas City is mobile enough that they're not allowing Milburn to get any head of steam.
45-year-old Wade Phillips. Look at the Montana Elway. 2 yards separate them, each with a touchdown pass. Each have been picked once. Kansas City. Elway with a free play, and he hits his man. How many times have we seen that? Arthur Marshall, first and goal. Elway sees the flags, knows he's got a free one. Boom, 17 yards.
Darren Mickle, I believe, is the guy who was offsides, the defensive tackle. We've seen that too, that hard count. You see Mickle come across through the neutral zone, and Elway knows, aha, this is the Elway zone. Watch this throw. Boy, is that baby spinning. Woo! That's RPMs, man.
Bernstein. Nothing there. Thought he might be able to get outside, but Martin Bayless came up to close that off.
I think when he bounced outside, the play was over. When you got lead blockers up in front of you and it's inside the 10-yard line, you want to get what you can and forget about being fancy.
Bernstein leads the Broncos with 613 yards. That's 13th in the NFL, but averaging only 3.4 a carry and 3.0 today. 36 yards, 13. Actually, less than that, less than 3. Elway on second and goal. Knocked down and almost intercepted by Lonnie Martz.
Intended for Shannon Sharp. Denver was running the pick. They brought Shannon Sharp in motion. You're going to see these guys go up here and try to pick off the defensive backs, and watch Martz. Whoa.
Quick reactions.
Yeah. That almost stuck in his face mask.
And he's had a good year, Martz. He has an interception. He's forced 4 fumbles. So third and goal from the 4. It was...
Or did Kansas City taking a chance here with all those defensive backs in there? There's 7 of them.
Oops, offside as Sharp didn't hear the count.
Well,
Ball start. Number 84 on the offense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That happened to Elway at the end of the half. The penalty took it back to the 9, and he hit Sharp for the touchdown. From the 9-yard line. Well, there's going to be another 5 on a false start. Russell Freeman.
Or was that too much time?
False start on the offense, number 79 prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Denver has gone backwards here.
Now to the 14-yard line, third and goal.
The play still works, though. A draw up the middle by the quarterback.
Yeah, but 14's a lot to make in this spot.
Blitz.
Far end zone shot! Touchdown! Oh, my! What a throw! Wow!
Sharp is the man in the slot. Kansas City comes with a blitz. Sharp does the smart thing. He gets right up to Mincy and then makes the move, and Elway puts it in a perfect spot for the reception and the TD.
Denver leads for the first time. Elam's try for point. Wade Phillips loves the lead by 3.
The Broncos quickly got the ball back after a Chiefs punt, but they didn't keep it for long. Martin Bayless tipping John Elway's pass, and Albert Lewis intercepting for Kansas City. So the Chiefs offense has another opportunity. We join the second play of their next drive after a penalty.
Kansas City, 10 straight losses in Denver. Marty Schottenheimer never has won 7 tries here. Montana has a man, Willie Davis, for a touchdown. 29 yards.
What Joe Montana does here is look off safeties, which no quarterback has ever done better. And that's why Willie Davis is wide open.
Lowry adds the extra point, and Kansas City claims the lead, 21-17.
There he is. He's going up in the middle. And Joe Montana doesn't look. He keeps looking right, comes back to Willie Davis. Lilo Lang, 21, looks like the man in coverage. 6 points.
Time to get back over top.
Welcome back. Kansas City's Neil Smith brought a promising Broncos drive to a halt with a sack on John Elway early in the fourth quarter, forcing Denver to punt. So possession is back with the Chiefs.
Montana starts from the 10-yard line, leading 21-17, fourth quarter. On top. Oh, what a catch by J.J. Burton, and it counts! Oh, my!
They're saying that the Denver defender forced him out, therefore they're going to allow the catch.
28 yards. What a catch by Burton.
Not even a play-action fake. It's Atwater, and they're saying a second foot without the contact would have come down. That is a wonderful catch by Burton.
But again, look where it's thrown. The only place where it could have been caught by Montana.
And he does hang on to the football, and that's why they allow the catch.
Out to the 37-yard line. The superlatives here in this one. Play action Montana. He's gone to two. Now his third receiver is the one on the sidelines. Throw it away. But he went right through. That was the sequence there.
Absolutely.
1, 2, 3, and all of his receivers covered. That doesn't happen often. He can even appreciate it.
That's always been the secret. Look at this. No rushing yards in the third quarter. That's always been the secret of this Bill Walsh offense. You give the quarterback a hot receiver, an alternate, so he's not back there thumped by the defense. And Joe Montana, there's Paul Hackett. He's the guy who knows the offense, learned it from Bill Walsh, and passed it along to the rest of the Chiefs.
Allen, no rushing second half, but he does have a rushing touchdown. Here's some positive yards. Kimball Anders, no one looking for him, and he rattles off about an 18-yard gain to the 44-yard line.
Man,
out of bounds, it's a 16-yard pickup.
This is the old scissors play. You see Allen go this way, it influences everybody. Anders gets the ball coming right back. Watch the defense. They all think Allen's going to get it. Dave Wyman is not affected, but an excellent call by Paul Hackett and a big pickup.
Now Ernie Thompson in with Allen.
Blitz.
And a long throw for Burton. And against the wind shows you the strength of Montana's arm. Mecklenburg putting pressure on the Kansas City quarterback.
He comes from everywhere and anywhere. And he's late, but it's right up the gut. And they try to have a fullback block on Carl Mecklenburg. That's never going to work. And Ernie Thompson is a big guy, but Carl Mecklenburg plays linebacker, but he plays like a defensive end. Big, strong, tough.
Yet such a quiet-mannered, soft-spoken, plays the guitar for his kids, sings lullabies to put them to sleep at night. Here's Marcus. Not much there at all. A couple at best. Mike Kroll and others on the tackle, and Dennis Smith came out of it with the ball.
Forward progress stopped.
So it'll be 3rd and 8.
Joe Montana told us last night for this ball game they have 101 passes in the game plan. 101.
What would be normal?
50.
7 DBs for Denver on 3rd and 8. Good pressure by the Broncos, and Montana couldn't find a receiver. Tim Barnett the closest, and the kicking team on for the Chiefs.
He also takes no chance of throwing the ball late down the middle. Throws it out to the sideline. No turnover here. Jones in motion. It's only a 4-man rush by Kansas City. He's just making sure that Denver does not get a hand on that football.
That young rookie, 90, Dan Williams from Toledo, is a man blowing up the pocket. Brian Barker's blocked. Reggie Rivers blocked it. Barker knocks it toward his own goal line. And finally, McNair picks it up. And it'll be Denver's ball at the 10-yard line. Reggie Rivers blocked it.
Dick, this is not a punt rush. They're setting up for a return. It is not a designed punt rush. And then why Barker tries to knock the thing back to the end zone, I am presuming he's trying to get it to the end zone for a safety. But as it is, a loss of 48 yards.
Barker blocked for only the second time in 235 attempts, and a golden opportunity for Elway and the Broncos to reclaim the lead. Bernstein. Oh, he's twisted down hard after a gain of 2. Tim Newton down around the ankles.
I'm telling you,
Rogers on top.
Dick, that was not a designed punt rush.
Well, it looked like the up back, thinking there was no rush, was trying to get downfield.
Right, let him go. Reggie Rivers makes the play. Schottenheimer emphasizes special teams.
Gain of 3 for Bernstein. Second and 7. Bernstein, same play. Got less. Neil Smith, Joe Phillips back in, and Rogers. Bayless there too.
Here's the guy who comes in and blocks it. You would think that the running back 45 should do something. Ernie Thompson should do something. I mean, that is not a designed punt block, but taking advantage of the situation, Reggie Rivers.
Elway known for his fourth quarter heroics, although it's a bit early, 10:48. 31 in his career. They've made a video out of it, but he has none this year. But it's a little too early for that.
Sharp.
Elway, Sharp, touchdown! He's got the hat trick.
It's a simple square out, Dick. Doug Terry is the man in coverage. There's no holdup at the line of scrimmage. Now, Elway doesn't seem open initially and then gets it to him. And the 3 touchdowns that Shannon Sharp has scored have been against the 7 defensive back look from the Kansas City Chiefs and because of Reggie Rivers' punt block.
24-21 Denver. Woo. Oh, my. First down, Allen again, diving to the 40, pick up a 3. Wyman and Mecklenburg there.
If you wonder why guys like John Elway and Joe Montana in these situations are so great, I think part of it has to do with their coolness. Montana stands in the huddle, calls the play, hey, no problem. There was a drive that he executed in Cleveland a number of years ago against Marty Schottenheimer. And one of his offensive linemen said, got him right where he wanted it as he had 98 yards to go. But these guys are just collected. They're within themselves. They love this.
Montana, first option taken. And he'll run it out of bounds. Mecklenburg and Kroll there.
Respect. Mecklenburg pulls up. Didn't make contact.
Joe Palooka. Carl Mecklenburg. What a player.
Had no surgeries this offseason, so he said, I was able to train this year in the offseason. Feels good.
Charlie Waters said he's got a heart as big as Minnesota.
Yep.
He comes out. They go with their defensive back package. Third down again for Montana. He needs 6. Down he goes, Simon Fletcher. His first sack, his 9th of the year. Only the second sack in 12 quarters against Montana.
Here's the matchup. Siglar 66. Simon Fletcher, look at the strength at 240 pounds to go around that offensive tackle. Great speed. Not made the Pro Bowl, I think, because no one knows what he really is, linebacker or defensive end. He's a pass rush specialist.
He's on the ballot as an outside linebacker. Barker nails a beauty against the wind. Milburn at the 12. cut down after a 5-yard return and a timeout with 7:28 left in the fourth.
John Elway continued to look commanding, leading the Broncos back down the field after that Chiefs punt. We rejoined their drive at the Kansas City 40-yard line. They have a 1st and 10.
Bernstein rattles up the middle to the 34. Simeon makes the stop. Good yardage on 1st down, about 6.
Well, Marty's staring at 11 straight losses in Mile High Stadium. Jinx or no jinx?
And he's staring at the jinx, number 7, who's taken every snap. That's the only thing he'd admit to. John Elway, who has been just his tormentor through the years at Cleveland and at Kansas City.
Starting to rain a little bit, I believe, Dick. I see some precipitation out there.
Bernstein takes it outside. Oh, as he catapulted at the 30. To a 1st down, it would appear, as Dale Carter submarines him. And Bernstein having a big day, 90 yards rushing for the 6'3", 240-pound fullback.
It's designed to go inside. He bounces outside. Oh, Dale Carter's got some guts. Stuck his helmet right on those knees. Bernstein walking slowly to the sideline.
Yeah, that'll make you think about why you didn't want to be a gymnast. Del Pino replaces him. Clock running, 3:25 left. Del Pino. And for Kansas City, the challenge now is to stop Elway and hope that the Broncos can only get to a field goal, leading by 3. 2nd down 8. Del Pino protecting the ball. Gets a couple. Tim Newton wrestles him down. Third and 7. Elway's 10 for 15 on 3rd downs. He goes to work on the roll. Avoids the rush. Sharp is tackled by Carter. Good play by Carter for a loss at the 35 of 8 yards, which really puts a challenge on Jason Elam on the field goal. What would have been a long field goal now becomes a very long field goal. It'll be about 53 yards instead of 45.
He would have been a lot better off just throwing that away, but Elway will not give into a play. He's going to find somebody to throw it to. Elam does have the wind at his back. That helps.
Now Elam, a 53-yard attempt to give Denver a 6-point lead. He hits it hard. He's got it. That one would have been good from 63.
He ran down there to cover it. He really thumps this one. Not a real high trajectory.
But watch how far over the crossbar it goes. That's almost the top of the uprights when it goes over.
He knows when he hits it, too. It's long enough.
Well, he's hit one from 54 and 53 earlier, and he's been in a bit of a slump. That explains his joy as Denver moves up 27-21.
And who's about to take the field? Elway watches from the sideline. It's Joe Montana's turn.
Elway and the Broncos used 5 minutes and 2 seconds on the drive, leaving Montana with just 2:26, no timeouts. Now it's Montana for Kansas City. Underneath, Anders. That won't do much. 3 yards is all. Tyrone Braxton right there.
Interesting formation here by Kansas City, Dick. They have 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and 1 running back.
And the running back is not Marcus Allen. To the sidelines, the Burden. Is he inbounds? Yes. and he stops the clock as he rolls out of bounds at the 41. Boy, Burton's made some tough catches today.
Underneath with Braxton, on top was Frank Robinson. Dead feet, perfectly thrown.
5 catches, 95 yards for LeJordan J. Burton from the University of Oregon. Charlie Waters' defense trying to stop Montana. 1:51 to go.
And Dick, they're in the prevent mode. Denver is.
Montana loves that. In the flat to Anders. Can't stop his momentum. Carries him out of bounds at the 46-yard line. A pickup of 5.
What Charlie Waters has here is 2 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, those 4 rushing up front, and 7 defensive backs making sure that nobody gets too deep.
Now he takes Mecklenburg out and brings in rookie Willie O'Shodin.
So that's a 3rd rusher now. A little more pressure applied to Joe Montana.
Marcus Allen in the pattern, but they go the other way, almost intercepted. Intended for Burton, and it was Ronnie Bradford who got a pick on a tip pass earlier, who had his hands on it.
Burton is down, still on the sideline. Atwater hit him when he was up in the air. Steve Atwater. Actually, Burton landed on Atwater.
3rd and 6. Phillips thought they had the interception.
That was a heck of a hit by Atwater. Certainly 4-down area here. No question about that.
Well, Montana using this break to talk it over on the sidelines. 3rd and 5. Montana 17 for 28. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Overshoots Allen, well covered by Tyrone Braxton, and now it's down to 1 play.
Excellent coverage out of the backfield on Allen.
Wouldn't you love to be able to duck your head in there and hear what Montana's calling, how he calls it? Down the middle, incomplete. And a flag is down, watch out. A flag down where Montana was hit, but it's against Kansas City for holding, and Denver takes over on downs.
Holding, number 68 on the offense. Penalty is declined.
1:30 to go.
Montana appears to slip here. Yes, he does. He destroys the timing of the play a little bit, but there was excellent coverage by Denver. Going for cash to tight end.
Broncos in a must-win are still alive. Kansas City still in first place, 27-21.
We made some big plays. We haven't been making plays in the previous losses, and we got the block punt that was really a big play for us. We were able to get in the end zone. So we just made some plays today that enabled us to get over the hump.
We had our ups and downs. On the whole, we did all right, but we can't afford to make those mistakes against a team like Denver and keep putting pressure on our defense.
Broncos and the Chiefs both played their tails off today. They made the plays when they had to, and we didn't. It was simple as that.
Well, I think Marty Schottenheimer summed it up there. Reggie Rivers' block punt was obviously a huge play for the Broncos, and Montana couldn't work the last-minute miracle when it counted for the Chiefs. Bob, are the Broncos back in it as serious contenders, do you think, after this game, or was it just the mile-high factor?
Well, I don't think they were ever really out of it. A lot of focus being put on Kansas City because of Schottenheimer's drive, because of Joe Montana. But I think the one team that hasn't really been overlooked, but I think probably downplayed a little bit, has been the Broncos. They've been playing consistent ball, winning a bunch, losing a couple, and I think they've never really been out of contention. But as I said before, in pressure situations, John Elway
you know, what's more pressure-filled than playoffs? I think they really do have an opportunity.